I'm sure you already taken your lunch. I really hope what you can continue to have this conversation, sharing experiences and building networking through online, through this GLU Youth Nation Alumni Network. And I think what's interesting, the second part of this event, one day event, is to have this sharing session for our alumni, respective of 4 different universities. And for now, the first round we have with up close and personal with TS Anwarudin Saidu Muhammad, which is UTP alumni. How are you, Mr. Anwarudin? Good?
Thank you. I'm fine. Thank you, Encik Bakhtiar. Not sure how close you want to be with me because up and close, kita tengoklah how
up
close
close and personal lah.
Yeah.
So it means you need to share, personal stuff that maybe you have not shared, and how along the way add value into our big family. I consider GLU is our tribe lah. Like since Gordon said that in the future when talk about marketing is about building that trust through tribe and similarities. Right. Yes. All right. So talking about the topic that we would like to, invite you to share with the rest of the team is sharing your entrepreneurship kind of journey. Before I pass the floor to you and share your experience on that note, let me share a bit about your background and the rest of the team about our panel, our speaker for this session. TS Anwarudin is the CTO slash Retail Director for Reservoir Link Energy Berhad, founder and also board member for Koperasi Tenaga and Petroleum Berhad, board member also of Yayasan Universiti Technology Petronas. So that is a bit about him, and he's also an alumni, Bachelor of Engineering, Honors Mechanical Engineering from UTP, and also Masters in Petroleum Engineering from Imperial College London. Okay, a little bit of career history of our speaker for today. He's also a project engineer. Previously was a project engineer at Petronas, Operation Engineer BHI, and also doing application engineer to BHI, a field service coordinator, consultant for National Physical Laboratory of UK, Teddington, head of technical services, DLM Chemical Serum Berhad, general manager for DLM Chemical Serum Berhad, and also general manager for DLM Berhad. In terms of membership and affiliation, our speaker is currently the Vice President for Society of Petroleum Engineers, SPE, for KL Section, Executive Committee, a member for Malaysia Oil and Gas Services Council, UTP ICL alumni, and professional technologists registered under MBOT in the field of oil and gas technology. Currently also industry advisor for UTP, UCSI, UniKL, UITM, and UMP. So certain awards, if I can share a bit about our speaker, he's also the Young Dipertuan Agong Scholarship in 2008. A lot of people out there can get scholarship lah, but not many can get Young Dipertuan Agong scholarship. He's also a recipient of Standing Regional Award Publication Production Operation for SPE for Asia Pacific Region, year 2021, including recipient of Outstanding Regional Award for Public Service Award for SPE Asia Pacific Region, year 2022, year 2020, recipient of Outstanding Regional Award, Regional Service for SPE Asia Pacific, year 2018, Brisbane, recipient of Outstanding Young Member Award for SPE Asia Pacific Region, year 2014, Adelaide, responsible for quality of technology, to be finalist of the World Oil Award Houston 2014, and also responsible for qualification of the technology to be the finalist for ICEME Award 2014. Publication, journals, magazine, SPE papers, and white papers. All right. So this is a little bit about our speaker, and again, like I said, I really hope that it is going to be up close and personal, sharing your experience related to entrepreneurship. With that note, I pass the floor to you, Mr. T.S. Anwarudin.
Okay, thank you everyone. Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you everyone for joining in. It could be a difficult time right after lunch, but let me see if I can share something to excite. But I think before that, since many of you may not be from oil and gas, because I spent almost entire life until today in oil and gas industry. Perhaps I probably can share some fundamental about oil and gas industry just for the benefit of all of you. And thank you for the very long introduction, Cik Bakti. That rather very very comprehensive. Yeah. Let me see if I can share the slide. Mm, looks like okay. I share the entire screen lah, easier. Okay. I don't know how many all of you can share this, huh?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we can. Yeah, you can see.
Okay, thank you.
Job
So
seeking is a
my
self-seeking. Wow, very interesting
so
title.
thank you. So I think probably today what I will talk about is that I know job is just very small part of the work of the life, and in fact, better call it career because it's a long term journey for many of us. In fact, for me, seeking job seeking from one to the other. Like Bhaktia has had a full list of where I worked and what I was been doing for the past 18 years. It's almost a self-seeking, and everything that I've gained today and who am I today, what built me to who am I today, actually indirectly related to all the exposure, collective exposure I had from time to time, and definitely is that dealing with people for sure. So the collection of the experience I had and my thought process is all a collection of what I've been exposed to in the industry, particularly oil and gas industry. And I had an opportunity to see great people, to be mentored by many great mentors, to be, there were so many time I slided, I fall upon, and there were so many people pick me up, supported me. I think all these were quite magical, and I think for any one of us, probably this is bound to happen, and I hope that I probably can share some of those. So let's talk about the industry a little bit. I think most of you, or not every one of you, probably from the oil and gas industry. So since I'm talking about oil and gas industry, probably I would say oil and gas industry primarily can be one of the driver of civilization that we have known for many years. From the date of 1980s, where we found found the application of oil to light up. So the rest of the journey was application in various sectors lah. So as you can see on the left, oil and gas industry has been always growing and never stopped growing. And hydrocarbon is usually, we talked about oil, gas, and coal. The combination of these three is usually, we refer that as a hydrocarbon. So oil and gas, account for about 60%, and the coal have another 20 to 30% contribution up until 2019. So today, oil and gas still occupy, oil and gas and coal combined together is still a whopping 80%. And I know many of you could have got the idea of a recent trend of renewables in regards to the energy proposition. So if you can see here, the only thing I want to propagate here is that one of the common thing we have known for is actually go to pump station and pump your oil and gas, and that only account for only 27%. So the transportation usage is only 27% of the oil and gas. So the rest of it is actually everything you see around yourself. Today, you might be holding your laptop with you, and there's a lot of hydrocarbon component in the laptop, in the plastic, in the table, in the bed that you are on top now. I mean, you might be in your chair and desk. That also there's in relation to oil and gas. Your monitor, your carpet, your chair, your mug, everything has something to do with hydrocarbon related byproducts like chemicals. All bound by all of our life is pretty much, unless we all decided to live a very basic primitive life in jungle. I think we cannot run away from oil and gas. That's a key here. So the transformation from oil and gas to completely revolutionize, to be dependent on other source of energy, will require a huge breakthrough in terms of material science and our life as well. But however, the key component here is you can see that due to other sectors of residential industrial application of energy, there's a significant changes in 2019 on the application of oil and renewables. Even though overall renewables is very much lesser, but it's gaining the traction, and that's what indicated by here. So this has been talk of the town. And people like me who are entrepreneurs has to be very conscious about this. And it's so important so that actually we continue to generate value to the industry and obviously to the people around us and including ourselves. So that's why I thought this is a very important sharing. So it is yes, renewables taking commanding position, but we have to not only see in the sector of transportation. There are so many other factors to look into. Yeah? Let me see the next slide. So, um, no doubt that the energy industry, which is dominated by oil and gas, has been contributed to the emission in a big way. And one third of all source of emission actually came from these the colors that you see, the gas flaring, which is we flare a lot of gas in oil and gas. Yes, in the past, gas fuel flaring, liquid fuel, and cement production, solid fuel. All these are encompassing one third. So what it means is actually there's a pressure, there's a great pressure from.
So sorry, Mr. T.S. Anwarudin, can you make it full screen for the slides?
It is a full screen actually now. Can you all not see the full screen yet? Hold on. Let me see
yeah.
if I. Okay, let me see if I can change it to. How about now? Can you all see a full screen?
I see your email.
Yeah. Now
Ah,
Okay,
this
hold on.
one. Yeah, now, yeah, okay.
How about now? Can you see the full screen?
no.
Yeah.
Ah,
How
okay,
about now?
this, okay, yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
now, okay, all right, thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So yeah, I think it's very small. It's very difficult to read.
It's
I'm not
now
sure.
readable. It's now readable. Thank you.
Okay. So let's continue from there. Let me see if I get a pointer. So, as you can see, yes, we have been contributing. One of the important thing that made everyone in oil and gas industry, whether so be it employee or staff or entrepreneurs like me, to understand the message from the right side of it, right? COVID-19, with our restricted mobilization and our inability to continue our lifestyle, has actually proven that statistically that has caused tremendous recession in emission of CO2. That means actually it's a good news for the life beings other than human beings. So everybody else was happy except for human being. That's quite a remarkable position to be in for others. So what it means is actually that means we have a moral responsibility to do things right. So that's going to be the rest of my discussion today. So with that taken into context, COVID-19, obviously we also get tired to listen about COVID-19, but I think that the context here is an angle I'm trying to get into why COVID-19 is important in the energy transition. So the COVID-19 has expedited this transition because people became more conscious and conscientious. Conscious is inner, conscientious is outer. Conscious mean, I try to understand what is the life priorities for my person as a person. And conscientious is that whatever I do, what is it that relate to others in my action towards the other life beings, as well as the people around me and the life beings around me and the environment. So that has caused quite a bit of pressure internally and externally. So the transition and transformation became a buzzword, and which is actually is transpiring and is happening. I don't think it's in a blueprint anymore. People are acting on it. So almost all companies in the world, that whether I'm from a very small company, I am from a company called Azharuddin Energy Berhad. We feed into somewhere here, either one of this logo. But most of the logo, very rarely you will see people business as usual. And in fact, probably next year, a review by Reichstag will show that the people here maybe jumping over to the other horizon. So what it means is um, our business activity has to be conscious in tandem with not only economic balance but also the environment and society. So then we call it sustainability, the balance of equating or equitably balancing the societal need, the environmental need, other life being as well, and also economic needs is so important. And it used to be in the reports of ESG, environment sustainability and governance report for many companies, including the company that I'm where I belongs to. It is in the report format, but I think people are going to take it very seriously because the self awareness is also very steep, and that actually reset and reshape the business and as well as careers. So the business drivers has been changing slowly in the past few years. So people were, I mean, we had a choice. In fact, Microsoft Team has been there for a long time. Google Meet has been there for a long time, but we never exploited the maximum use and also improve the application related to that. So that's basically what has been happening. So everybody started to build new processes and new way of working around it. And I must say that IR 4.0, as much as could be a buzzword, it is actually taken a precedence and commanding role in the whole scheme of things, in making things efficient, effective, less carbon footprint, less wastage. Things that could have been done simply were being very complicated last time. Many people in the oil and gas used to work offshore, but then we realized that actually you don't need to go offshore as often as before. There's a lot of things that once you automate, you can do remote operation from home, from the office, from central bases near to the sea. So that has also revolutionized the kind of skill set and the job and the prospect and the businesses. So I have one example here just to highlight to you, what that means to people. You see, this is a classical example of people like me and maybe my client with wearing helmet there on the left, but there is no face. We can actually have equip ourselves with certain tools like glove, for example, that can physically present somewhere else. I can actually be in the middle of ocean on the platform discussing with another client of mine, talking about safety on the platform or talking about some equipments on the platform or facilities of offshore facilities or onshore facilities. All this became very real. There's no need for people to take a helicopter and boat. Sometimes we took a very specialized helicopter, 2 to 3 hours flight, chartered flight to go to offshore. Sometimes 8 to 12 hours of boat ride to go to a location to do certain things. Even discussion and so on. But all this become now possible with 3D imaging, mixed reality concepts, and of course, data ability to have a cloud-based support and also data security. So this is actually what has transformed. And you see, before the COVID-19 transformation has actually benefited me personally because of the fact that actually, we were people like us ourselves, we were poised to look into taking opportunity despite the demise of unprecedented challenges. In fact, just for information, the this year business result has been phenomenal and has been very good for us because of our ability to think about how can we our agility to help the industry to do all this to change to become a community that can become more resilient, cleaner and greener and more efficient in operating the business. So that's people like ourselves have been providing solution to fit into that. Now, the classical example that I've been providing has been always what I have been looking into finding opportunities in a sweet spot. And ever since, the 18 years, almost 9 years, I spent on trying to understand the business, the people, the processes, and how can I value add to the industry and the community. And the remaining 9 years, this has been the proponent on what I've been doing and what I can do best, which is actually converting the pain point of the industry to an opportunities. And eventually, I create jobs around it. So every opportunities usually resolve into a collaborative environment between people like us and also the recipient of the benefit to eventually solve the problem. So here we are solving the remote operation problem. So when we solve the problem, we create new knowledge, new opportunities, and new people to work with me and to work with the industry to create that opportunity and then eventually solve the problem. Then eventually the rest is actually byproduct. We don't go around and say that, I want to make money. That's not the point. In fact, this year, even when I started the budget for this year, it never been a situation where, okay, I need to strike so many millions or, so much. So it is always about what are the things I can solve? And we always believe that when the aspiration and the mission is correct, and its requirement, filling the requirement of the people or community or the industry, and also there is a proper aspiration behind it, which is the bigger purpose is to create solutions so that the industry move forward in the community. So when we have a bigger purpose like this, the byproduct will be the wealth. It's not the other way around. We don't go around and try to create wealth and then you start to, okay, let's make something related to wealth. But that has been very much working very well. But in order to do so, we have to have a mindset of a progressive mindset or growth mindset, we call it. So there's looking into COVID-19, the first 6 months, I still remember we did suffer a lot because of the immediate closure of facilities, immediate restriction of physical interaction. But at the end of the day, as entrepreneurs, in fact employees of the industry, we can't afford to think about, oh man, it's a very bad situation, how to survive. No, it's not about survival, but it has to be a growth mindset in order to build something out of the opportunities that present. I think that's probably a common one behind entrepreneurs. And in that aspect, to my aspiration to people who want to be involved in a business, who want to be an entrepreneur, or in fact, in an organization where you want to create opportunities, I think this is something so important to me because I spent a lot of time to understand myself. In fact, even there was once in the mid-career of, as I say, I divide into 9-9, right? The first 9 years, I was actually working, and the second 9 years is pretty much a lot of entrepreneurship. And I've been involved in various type of businesses. Understanding oneself is so important. And that means you must take yourself. I took myself very seriously. For me, one of the most important, precious, and the most important tool I have with myself is myself. I'm the one. So, if I need any help, the most important person I can look up to first is myself. Because God has made us so special that when you look into answers, you actually can look into yourself and you can get that. Obviously, with the support of your colleagues and your friends and some good mentors and so on. But eventually, you got to answer yourself. They're not going to answer for yourself. So in this aspect, the ikigai that you can see here is something contextual that I have not structured like this, my thinking process. But I think I thought I share this because it's very close to what I've been always using the thought process. So in finding the sweet spot, we call it a purpose, the reason to do things. So if you find your mission and your passion and your profession and your vocation means what you enjoy doing. So all these combined together, usually you can really deliver something great of a milestone that timeless. And it goes long way. You don't only create yourself, and people get connected to it quite often. And in fact, I built business twice. The first one I built, and due to inability for me to safeguard the business, it was taken up, but I let it go. But I learned again, and then learned from the mistake and built again. In this process, I just got better. I basically got better and better in terms of understanding myself. So this is what I've been doing for quite some time. So now, when people in every communication I have with people, with my employees, with the people that I would like to propose my solutions, it's always about finding the right purpose. So often we have to find purpose in our daily job also. For example, let's say for an engineer, there is a greater purpose of being engineer. If you're a drafter, there's a greater purpose of being a drafter. So that is why it's so important for us to understand the purpose. Then we will invest in our precious thing, which is ourselves. So, I give an analogy. An ant, very small being that created by God. Everyone knows. So you see, ant can see us. It's just that it is not full-fledged being like us. It is not fully evolved, and the cerebrum capacity is so much lesser than who we are. But it knows that when you want to snap the ant because it's just disturbing you on the table. Let's say you want to snap it, the ant doesn't give up and stand there and say, okay, I'm giving up my life and you can do whatever. Because at the end of the day, even if it runs, it's so easy for us to snap it and it's going to die. But it doesn't give up because it knows that its life is so precious and it has a lot more other things. So if ant can find that it has a lot of big deal of things to do, that means we must commit ourselves to understand ourselves and feel and treat ourselves so precious. And that is a proposition that I've been talking to students, I've been talking to professionals, I've been talking to my staff, and I've been talking to many people in the community to understand oneself and invest greatly in yourself. And that means we have a moral responsibility to what we do in ourselves. The soul we have, the life we have, the physical element we have. So I think that's one of the important thing, and then the rest is actually pretty much, once you understand yourself deeper, I think the rest is quite enjoyable, and even the challenges will make you better. Will Doesn't make you slower, doesn't make you weaker, doesn't make you less able, but it's actually make you stronger, wiser, and faster too. As I say, I made a big failure. I flopped quite a big time in my first attempt in making business, but it just made me stronger. And now I know how to prioritize things. It made me wiser to choose the right path, to make the right decisions. This don't get demised by failure. Sometimes failure means it's an opportunity to learn. So choosing the right career is like choosing the right partner, and choosing the right direction in life also is the same thing. So that's why I say seeking job, seeking career is actually seeking yourself. It gave me a lot of opportunity to learn myself, and therefore I can do a lot more. As I say, job is not the only thing in life, lah. Understandable. So in steps in choosing a career, if you are a student, if you are a professional, let's say it didn't work out, uh, and let's say that after so many years you're a TP, technical professional, you are a principal in certain aspect, but it doesn't mean anything unless it actually fulfill the purpose that you have. If you think that halfway through there is a need to reset, go ahead. And I've done it in my life. I reset my life right in the middle, and at that point of time, at the ninth year, I actually had a great career, to be honest. I had a great opportunity, and I was climbing ladder very fast, and was a very comfortable cushion in an international company. But I just found that at the ninth year, that is when I actually got the Agong scholarship lah, actually, because this is how I wanted to be myself, and I think the people who actually evaluated me, they thought they want to give me an opportunity, or maybe maka kesian lah, I don't know, but I got that. But that was a good opportunity because then I realigned myself with certain exposure I wanted to in the UK. So any time can be a good time to reset. And great entrepreneurship actually came from people like, KFC started when he know that he is a great cook when he was 50 over, almost 60. I think I can go on in the list, but I just don't want to bore you. Jack Ma, so many people like that, they just found a passion after so many years. And it is not too late for anyone to find the passion, because entrepreneurship is not something that you want to train, you want to learn, you want to study. It actually comes from the passion. If you have the passion, actually the byproduct can be entrepreneurship. You don't need to know learn MBA. You don't need to know to be an expert in accounting. No, it actually can, with the passion, you will learn all these things, because these are tools in the business, but not the business itself. So I think that's pretty much. So in terms of employment outlook, just for the people who may be benefited from the thing I shared about oil and gas industry. So oil and gas pretty much has been quite a cyclic environment, just like any other commodities lah. You know that with the recent trend of energy transition and demand for greener world, but it could be slightly different, but it's still the same, is supply and demand. So the major reset is unavoidable, is going on now. And the youth of today, if you're a fresh start, if you're a recent career starters, if you're a student, it is the right place to begin. Why? Because these new opportunities means new jobs and also new businesses, and which I explained some of this. So this new thing, usually younger people can pick up faster lah. For me, if you ask me to learn something, it's going to be a little bit slower. So entrepreneurship skill EQ and cognitive skill, even if you're not entrepreneur, it's going to be important because things are changing the fastest I ever seen in my life for the 18 years. So the new skill is and upskilling yourself so important. So your mindset, attitude, and etiquette to have growth mindset, not about thinking about the problem, but looks about the brighter side of the problem. So that's why the mindset is so important. And data science like AI and ML, those who want to pick up this, I myself is committing myself to learn. There's a lot of online courses I'm taking to understand this further. So that it's not that I'm going to be a coding engineer. That's not the point. But I'm seeking opportunities to build businesses around data analytics. So I need to know how do I deal with another data scientist? How do I deal with experts around this area? So therefore, I'm starting to learn, right? So prepared to get into new norm of employment opportunities, which is actually providing resource and expertise and not a headcount. So that's a different concept coming in. In future, I'm not surprised if an employee is being shared where the loyalty definition of loyalty will be different because you share your skill set with many people. Actually, it's already happening to some extent, and it's possible in the future too. And that means you need to invest heavily in yourself to provide solution, not to provide hours. So that's thinking that you all should have. I think that's all I got to share. So in just you know um, our mind, body, emotion, and thoughts and energy should not be an impediment in life, lah. If we are distracted by any one of these, due to number one, sadness. Of course, everybody can be sad when we have a problem. Dissentments, lost job, lost career, retrenched. This can be distraction to what you really want to achieve. So you have to align yourself and get out of this distraction in order to find purpose in life. And it can be anything. It may not be related to your degree. It may be related to what you've been done in the past. It may not be related to things you're good at. Being good at and eventually what you are passionate about could be two different things also. So only when the distraction and the cloud is clarified, you can actually see clearly what you really want inside you. I think with that, I think I end the discussion. Probably you all can have a more close-up questions. So you want to get close up, right? Okay, let's
All
open up
right.
for questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Anwarudin, for sharing your interesting journey, reset, looking into your passion and uh, uh, um, continuing to learn, to continue to give impact. You mentioned about renewable energy if you're looking for new jobs. Okay, I'll open the floors for our team here to share any questions or maybe give your feedback based on what is being shared by Mr. Anwarudin just now. You can always raise your hand here, like me, or maybe you can just unmute and throw the question straight to the speaker. Okay,
Yeah, I
we
like
have a
the
question
question.
here from Uvarani, if I can share with you, Mr. Anwarudin. Hi, sir. I have a question. How to identify in what field we are interested in? If we would like to start an entrepreneurship, a small business, how to identify ourselves where we are interested in? Want to start an
Mm,
entrepreneurship, but not sure where to start. So, what is your
okay,
note on that?
okay. Good question. Finding what you okay. Sometimes small things people would have told you is actually what you're good at. But what you want to do could be different than what you're good at. I actually just spoke about that, right? So definitely, I give an analogy. I can't give an answer. This is if I have become your mentor, I can guide you. But now with a
Okay.
very small amount of time, I can give
Yeah.
something. So you see, in life, you will realize you have to take a timestamp to understand what is it going on in your mind. An example will be, let's say you go to airport. You have not met after COVID-19. You have not met your parents for so long, which actually happened to me too. Right? You go to airport. You are waiting for your flight in the terminal, and there's a big wall clock there. You can clearly see the time. After 1 year, you're going. You got a watch on your hand. You will realize, or maybe you have seen this in others, that the flight is actually 12 noon and you are there at 11:30, and then you keep on seeing the watch again and again and again. Even though it's so clear that you don't have to, actually they're going to announce it and the big wall clock is up there. You have probably have seen others doing it, or you may unconsciously do it, because all of us have this unconscious mind that guide us. What does it mean is you're so passionate about meeting your parents. So you want to forward your time, means that you want to quickly get into that time scale of 12 noon. Okay. Consider that against another one. You got homework to do. Okay, lecturer gave you a homework. Or maybe you got some tasks to complete at your work. And the boss also, gave, maybe he didn't give a timeline. Or you have a tick box lah. Like everybody now got to do. Google to do lah, checklist in the smartphone. You go back and check the list again. How many of that has been 1 year due? Or you almost see every day but you don't do, and you actually postpone mean number one case, you want to bring the 12 noon to 11:30. Let's say if a flight announced that, okay, we are departing now, you're going to be extremely happy. But this one is the opposite case. You just want to postpone. So actually what it means is your mind is telling you what is you're passionate about, what you like to do. You like the first one but you actually don't like the second one. So that for the things that you're wasting your time for, which is things that you are not passionate about doing, you actually might as well just close the chapter and move it away and focus on things that you're gonna really excel. So that is an analogy I can give. So in the business, let's say you want to start up a company, but actually the key word here, do you really have to start a company? Do you want to be what really make you think that I want to be an entrepreneur? Why you want to be an entrepreneur? You see, when I want to be entrepreneur, actually my grandma has contributed to be a little bit lah, So she always called me boss, but she passed away just during COVID time, but not because of COVID-19. I carry her aspiration quite a bit. And for me, when I want to do business, actually the reason for that is not really to make money. Of course, the money is a byproduct. I like it, but that's not the point. The point is I want to be resourceful. A businessman will be very, very resourceful so that I can pass on to resources to others, to my relative, to friends, to community, to friends, to alma maters. I had that very clearly. That is why I'm very active in a very many circles of community, because basically I want to earn the resources, and if possible I want to empower myself with the resources. So that is the agenda I had. Resources mean earn people, networking, assets and all that lah. So that is a unique proposition I had. What really drives you? You need to find out, why do we need to want to be an entrepreneur? Why not an excellent or a technologist so this is first line first, and after that you go to the detail of what will you really like to do. The moment you become entrepreneur, let's say you want to have a coffee shop, and then you think that, oh, I like coffee shop because somebody presented to you a P&L, and oh, it's quite a bit of money, and you're importing coffee bean from this country, that country. But the moment you go to coffee shop, actually, the work itself, you don't like it. Then what's the point? It's very difficult to be a successful entrepreneur when you actually don't enjoy being in the coffee shop. Have you been in the coffee shop? Have you liked it? You have to connect well to the aspiration and passion. I think that's my short answer. So that will motivate you to find what you really want to do, not necessarily what you like to do. Liking, people can like so many things, like my other half like so many brands of handbag, but I can't get them all. So people may like so many things. You can like cars, I can like cars. We all like so many things. But the point here is, what does it really we want to do? Not really what we like to do. It's two different things. So when we want to do means we are passionate about. What we really like to do, you can have hobby and so on. Sometimes some people make a hobby as a business, so nothing wrong with that. So I think hopefully that take you to go ahead with that direction. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions?
We have these two questions from Rohani Muhammad and also I know Huda. Okay. Okay. Three actually. If I can share with you also from Nuri. What would be your advice if you want to transition from being full-time to full-time entrepreneur? What are the steps to be followed, or what are important things that we should pay attention? Okay, that is okay from Nuri Yusuf From Rohani, question of resetting your life. What is the right time to reset your life? What are the things that we must consider before resetting our life? We never know
Very
whether
good.
our decision is right. Okay. And the last
That's
one,
true. That's true.
yeah, last one. Okay, yeah. So yeah, these are the few questions.
Okay, number one, when is the right time
Here.
to do it? The first one was very interesting. What was the first question again? Sorry, the second one, the first, when is the right time? First one was,
What is your advice if you want to
ah,
from
okay,
full-time
changes lah.
employee to a
Understand.
full-time entrepreneur and step to
It actually
follow? Yeah.
happened to me. The first question is a very valid question to myself, 9 years ago. But I was fortunate lah. Number one, I had the advantage that I was not married back then.
So that's the trick,
Okay,
right?
has
So
advantage, huh? But anyway, even if you're married, also you can do it. And I
yeah.
have a lot of friends who have done it. I have a lot of colleagues and a lot of circle of people who have done it. Now, when you want to transform yourself to fully working and all that, it can be tough. A lot of resistance will come from your mind, and it will come from you. It is anticipated. It is natural because you are transiting from one place to the other. Imagine you are just taking a flight to go to another country which you have known also got so much of a palpitation. You can imagine that you are going to a direction which is unknown, uncharted. You have not reached there, you have not seen there, unless you already become serial entrepreneur. You already know one, pass, fail, close the shop, go to another one, then it's okay. But if you're going for the first time, it's going to be enormous. And I actually delayed many times my decision because of that feeling also. And actually, to be honest, there is two things you can become very handy. You must have a support system lah. The love and care become very important here. I had ultimate support from my parents, those who I love for, to push me to actually never mind, take the risk. It's okay. You're not going to die. So you're still going to be alive. So that kind of motivation become very helpful. It was helpful to me because it is enormous anticipation and too many uncertainties, and you're going to start a lot of imagination. All the imagination will be negative. If I fail, what happened? If I don't get income, what happened? If I become somebody sue me because I fail, what happened? What happened? All the if. Usually very rare. Oh, if I'm successful, what happened? uh, Very, very rare. That mindset will not be there. It's natural. We all bound to be like that. So number one, support system. Number two, as I said, faith, that support you lah. At the end of the day, one thing that it came to me is that we all came with nothing also. We came to this world with nothing, zero, nothing in our body, and then the parents were taking care of us. So that imagination once come in, you probably will feel better, and probably we're going to live with nothing too. Everything is in between, is transition. So how wrong can it be wrong, right? As long as halal, it is socially acceptable norms, then what is there to go very wrong? But in order to de-risk, you always can reach out a mentor. I had mentors. I think that's the last step you can have. Mentors, friends who have done it, and you can associate with them very closely, not because of job, but it's a personal, and a lot of people will be very happy to do that. Most of the successful entrepreneurs, they have one thing in common. They want to help others. Never one short scenery, entrepreneurs, very rarely lah. I just want to be rich. I don't care about others. Very rarely. Because the entrepreneurs will have a common approach, which is a community consciousness will be there. And you can have them as a mentor who will help you a lot. Otherwise, you will, and secondly, as I said, if you enjoy also what you're doing, let's say you're a naturally very enjoy the photography and you want to open a photography shop, I think that kind of intonation also will help lah. And the second question is, when is the right time? Actually, any time is the right time. A lot of friends, mom for many, father for many. All actually, to be honest, I also have a friend of mine who entrepreneur, grandson. I have a grandson and grandkid too. So it doesn't stop anywhere. It's actually any time is a good time. But the right time is actually the time where you get the best emotional support, because when you're emotionally not supported, emotionally weak, you tend to make more mistakes than when you're emotionally strong. avoid the time where you're emotionally not strong lah. For example, you have a personal problem and all that. Try to avoid those times because you may not get the best decision made by yourself. Otherwise, every time is a good time to explore yourself and explore the.
Okay, thank you very much, Encik, Anwarudin, for your insights and valuable experience shared with us. We are running out of time. But anyway, no worries. Along the way, you can always put the question in the chat box. Again, thank you very much, Encik Anwarudin, for sharing your
One,
experience.
for many of you who want to connect me, type my name, you find me in LinkedIn. Inshallah, if you have questions in the LinkedIn, I will try my best to answer you and at least guide you for any reason that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anwarudin. Okay. We need to, move on to the next session. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Anwarudin, for sharing.
Thank you for GLU. Thank you, Encik Batia.
So we're gonna continue with the next speaker, Mr. Sulaiman Shah, which is our MMU alumni. Hi, how are you, Sulaiman?
Hi. Cik Batia.
Nampak Cik Man ya, bagus. Hopefully you can open the camera. Okay. Thank you for joining for us. Okay, before I share this session to you, maybe I'm going to share a bit about your background so that the rest of the team who knows you and know what you have been doing for the past so many years. Okay, if you can share a bit about Encik Sulaiman Shah. He graduated from MMU with Bachelor of Engineering Electronics major in Computer, and currently he's the Director of Marketing of the company. Experience, Cik Man and Cik Adi work at Istana Nurul Iman as smart coach, one of the grandchild of Sultan Brunei in 2019. Wow, that's great. Serve as a tuition teachers at Ilmas Training and Tutorial Brunei and have shared knowledge in more than 200 schools and since 2011 as mathematical motivation speaker. So achievement 2014, Brunei Ministry of Education invited Cik Man to hold a Master of Numbers workshop for Year 4, Year 5, Year 7 mathematics teachers across Brunei. Wow, that's great. Young Entrepreneur Awards by Ministry of Youth and Sports Malaysia in 2014. In year 2017 and in 2018, Bank Islam Brunei Darussalam appointed them as mathematics consultant for scholarship students. Since 2018, Cik Man has been invited as a speaker and math quiz jury at 6 universities around Sumatra, Indonesia. Before COVID-19, Cik Man and Cik Adi produced a book, Gula-Gula Sifir, which has been distributed in every primary school library throughout Brunei, and now they are sharing the teaching aid, the Zero Pentagon, to ensure that our shall master the chipper within 3 hours. Wow. Bukan mudah, not many people really have this passion about mathematics and get it done and educate in Brunei and in Indonesia and also in Malaysia. Okay, maybe so if that is the case, then the floor is yours, Encik Sulaiman, to share your experiences with the rest of the team.
Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum dan selamat petang. Okay, saya lebih selesa dalam bahasa Melayu.
Boleh, tak ada masalah.
Okay, memperkenalkan diri, nama Sulaiman Shah bin Abdul Rahman, lebih dikenali dengan nama Cik Man. Okay, berasal dari negeri Johor, daripada company Kitani Sdn Bhd ataupun company Asas Ilmu Sdn Bhd. Berkhidmat di Brunei selama 10 tahun daripada tahun 2011 sehingga 2020. Jadi sedikit background saya tentang dunia usahawan. Sekarang ni saya sedang membawa 4 jenama. Satu jenama Pentagon Maths yang sekarang diusahakan, Pentagon Maths, yang terdiri daripada asas matematik. Kita dah hasilkan 3 buah buku, Pentagon Sifir, Pentagon Congak Tambah Tolak dan Pentagon Congak Darab Bahagi. Okay, jenama kedua kita ada jenama Susu Nu'man. Susu Nu'man ni fokus pada anak-anak yang berusia 6 bulan ke atas lah, baby dan anak-anak kecil. Susu Nu'man ni susu kambing formula.
Okay.
Dan yang jenama ketiga Kitani. Kitani ni produk seisi keluarga, kita ekspor ke Brunei Darussalam. Dan yang terakhir sekali kita menguruskan pemasaran untuk GT Villa Chalet di Janda Baik. Penginapan lah, sebuah penginapan di tepi sungai di Janda Baik, Pahang.
Wah, menarik tu. Kita kena share tu kat mana. Yalah, sekarang ni orang dah boleh berjalan-jalan, mana tahu ada rezeki boleh pergi kat sana. Jadi baik.
Boleh ya, boleh. Hari ni pun ada istimewa lah daripada kami, kita ada voucher. Voucher RM50 untuk penginapan di tempat kami lah, di GT Villa Janda Baik.
Okey, menarik. Sekarang ni pun dah lama kat rumah kan, dapat peluang jalan betul. Okey. Silakan Cik Sulaiman.
Okey, pengalaman bisnes dalam dunia usahawan, kebanyakannya apa yang diceritakan oleh Cik Bahtiar tu lebih kepada Pentagon lah, produk matematik kami. Saya bermula pada tahun 2011 saya ke sana sebagai guru tuition, dan juga saya berceramah lah sebagai penceramah motivasi di Brunei sampai tahun 2020. Memang perjalanan saya lama di sana, 10 tahun. Sampailah COVID saya balik ke sini dan kita buka company Sam Berhad lah, fokus kepada asas matematik. Okey, jadi nak cerita pengalaman banyak. Saya lebih suka kalau kita bolehlah buka soalan. Jadi saya lebih menjawab soalan audiens, lebih seronok lah. Jadi audiens yang mendengar dia akan, selama ini mungkin ada benda-benda yang yang belum terjawab. Jadi insya-Allah saya boleh bantu menjawab. Kalau ikut pengalaman, banyak cerita pengalaman. Okey, siapa nak bertanya boleh type di ruangan chat. Nanti saya boleh menjawab soalan.
Tanya secara live tak boleh Cik? Cik
Boleh, lagi senang.
Boleh tanya live boleh tanya terus. Silakan kalau ada soalan dan sebagainya, boleh terus unmute dan terus tanya. Boleh perkenalkan dirilah di chat box.
Okey, ada satu soalan ni daripada Cik Ida Razak. Assalamualaikum Cik Man, as a maths expert, macam mana nak educate our child to love maths and maths is not just a number but full of fun. Okey, pengalaman saya dalam bidang maths ni, saya nampak pertama sekali anak kita dah ada mind block. Jadi satu mind block bahawa kita dibesarkan dengan perkataan matematik itu susah. Matematik itu payah. Kalau di Brunei lah, matematik itu susah. Jadi suasana kita dibesarkan dengan pembelajaran matematik ni, bila kita nak pergi sekolah, cikgu matematik kata matematik itu susah. Kita kena buat latihan banyak. Kita kena pergi tuition. Okey. Lepas tu di rumah pun mak ayah pun kata matematik itu susah. Okey, jadi kita dibesarkan dengan perkataan susah. Maths itu susah. Jadi pertama sekali yang saya boleh nasihatkan, yang saya boleh kongsikan, pertama sekali kita kena buang mind block lah. Kita punya pemikiran ni, perkataan susah tu kita kena buangkan. Sebab kita sendiri pun mengamalkan benda yang sama. Contohnya kalau kita dalam kehidupan kita, bila melibatkan angka atau nombor, kita akan off. Kita tak nak fikir. Kita kata okey susah ni nak kira. Kita dah sebut perkataan pertama tu susah. Jadi pertama sekali kalau dalam kelas kami pun bila anak tu dihantar dalam kami punya tuition, macam saya pernah mengajar di Istana Brunei, Cucu Sultan Brunei, memang pertama sekali adalah mind block lah. Buang perkataan susah. Kalau kita tak tahu sekalipun, kita akan bagi tahu pada anak kita, pasti ada cara. Cuba cari jalan, nak boleh jumpa dengan kawan ataupun guru-guru yang faham tentang soalan tu. Kita kena buang perkataan matematik itu susah. Itu yang pertama. Okey, yang kedua, macam mana nak pastikan anak kita ni suka dengan matematik? First sekali, kuatkan asas matematik anak. Asas matematik anak ni pertama sekali ada 3 perkara lah yang kami tekankan. Pertama, kenal nombor. Kedua, kuasai sifir. Dan ketiga, cekap dalam operasi asas. Tambah, tolak, darab, bahagi. Jadi bila asas ni kuat, asas ni anak kita kuat, asas matematik kuat, insyaAllah dalam subjek matematik itu dia tidak akan ada masalah. Okey, semoga menjawab soalan. Soalan seterusnya daripada Cik Adlin Suraya Zulkifli, ataupun ada yang nak bertanya secara live?
Dipersilakan kalau ada siapa nak tanya secara live, bagus di situ Cik Man
boleh bertanya secara live ataupun type di ruangan chatting pun boleh. Okey, kalau tak ada soalan seterusnya. Patutkah sekolah awam mengajar subjek MS kepada semua pelajar? Selalunya hanya pelajar sains dan account stream saja yang belajar. Tetapi saya rasa pelajar seni juga perlu belajar maths. Okey, ini pendapat peribadi saya. Saya kalau ada pilihan saya tak nak belajar IMAX. Okey, saya kalau ada pilihan saya tak nak belajar IMAX sebab bukan IMAX tu susah. Tapi NMAS tu menjurus kepada bidang yang kita nak kerja lah akan datang. Kita punya cita-cita. Saya punya cita-cita dulu nak jadi jurutera. Jadi syarat-syarat nak jadi jurutera adalah subjek NMAS. Jadi kena ambil lah. Kita cemerlang dalam UPSR, lepas tu cemerlang dalam PMR. Jadi pelajar-pelajar cemerlang ni memang kena masukkan dalam sains tulen. Jadi dalam sains tulen tu, bidang sains tulen ada subjek NMAS. Jadi pendapat peribadi saya, siapa yang berminat NMAS boleh ambil AdMaths, tapi biasanya sekolah dah tapis dah. Sekolah dah buat tapisan dari segi keputusan peperiksaan, tapis dia dah bahagikan mana pelajar yang boleh, yang kuat dari segi maths moden dan sebagainya, boleh ambil AdMaths, dan biasanya pelajar yang ambil bidang sastra ataupun bidang selain daripada sains ni tidak digalakkan ambil bidang AdMaths lah. Jadi saya punya pendapat tidak semuanya pelajar kena belajar AdMaths. Kalau matematik moden, ya semua kena belajar. Kalau AdMaths, tidak semua belajar. Macam mana nak bagi anak-anak senang hafal sifir? Ini dah cerita produk dah ni. Okay, macam mana nak bagi anak-anak senang hafal sifir? Okay, senang hafal sifir. Senang hafal sifir. Okay, sifir ni sebenarnya repetition. Okay, kena sentiasa berulang, cuma cara kita mengajar dengan anak tu kalau boleh kita tidak mahu cara sekolah. Kalau di sekolah tu kan kita ada satu arahan kan. Okay, cikgu kata semua diri, okay, hafal sifir sekarang, cikgu nak tanya. Siapa dapat jawab sila duduk. Okay, hafal. Okay, jadi itu konsep di sekolah lah. Di rumah kita jangan guna cara tu. Kita guna cara santai. Sebab karakter anak belajar dia berbeza. Ada anak belajar dia suka duduk diam. Ada anak belajar dia suka sambil berjalan. Okay, ada juga yang suka sambil menonton. Mungkin tengok YouTube. Kalau kita zaman kita dulu ada Siti Sipir kan, tengok YouTube, tengok apa-apa channel lah untuk dia hafal. Jadi kita bagi kebebasan anak ketika menghafal. Kita jangan menyerupai cikgu di sekolah. Kalau kita serupa dengan cikgu di sekolah, nanti anak kita kata tidak ada beza. Alah, cikgu kat sekolah dah lah garang, balik rumah mama lagi garang. Kalau kita PDPR ni kan, anugerah cikgu tergarang adalah mak lah kan. Sampai anak kita request nak pergi sekolah, dah stop lah PDPR sebab mak garang. Okay, jadi kita jangan menyerupai cikgu di sekolah. Kita cuba santai. Contoh jadual sifir 5. Kita bagi dia jadual sambil menghafal. Bolehlah, okey, satu hari ni menghafal. Boleh sambil-sambil belajar, sambil-sambil tengok TV. Nanti petang mama tanya. Ataupun kita bagi reward. Okey, antara cara lain untuk nak pastikan anak kita hafal dalam satu jadual tu, kita bagi reward. Okey, hafal sifir ni, okay, mama bagi handphone 1 jam untuk main game. Okey, jadi bila ada unsur reward, sebab kita dibesarkan dengan dunia sifir ni adalah denda. Zaman sekolah kita dulu memang denda. Okey, tak hafal sifir kena rotan, tak hafal sifir kena diri atas kerusi sampai habis kelas. Dan macam-macam lagi denda. Tapi sekarang kita tak boleh buat benda tu. Kita tukarkan dengan unsur keseronokan. Elemen keseronokan iaitu bila anak kita hafal sifir, kita bagi reward. Kalau zaman saya dulu, siapa yang dapat jawab, cikgu bagi RM1 dengan rehat 5 minit awal. Jadi konsep tu saya bawakan dalam kami punya sifir punya modul, Pentagon sifir, ada elemen reward. Dia kejar reward. Kalau dalam Pentagon sifir tu setiap satu kad dia akan dapat gem reward. Dia kena kumpul 14 gem reward untuk dapat big reward. Jadi setiap satu kad tu dia macam bermain game. Unlock game, unlock catwalk, unlock kad 2, unlock kad 3. Jadi anak kita yang mengejar kita nak hafal sifir. Jadi dia terbalik lah. So Pentagon sifir kita buat modul macam tu supaya anak kita suka. Dia rasa sifir ni tak sama dengan belajar di sekolah. Okey, soalan daripada Cik Ahmad Syadid, apa strategi Cik Man bila merudum? Okey, pengalaman saya paling teruk dalam bisnes adalah PKP. Okey, bila diumumkan PKP, saya masa tu baru balik daripada Aceh, jemputan daripada Universiti Shah Kuala. Saya balik, 2 hari selepas tu diumumkan PKP lah, lockdown, total lockdown. Jadi 3 bulan kami tak boleh buat apa-apa, memang tak boleh buat apa-apa pun, 3 bulan di rumah. Jadi masa tu bisnes memang down lah. Di Brunei, saya terpaksa jual kereta, baru beli kereta Fortuner masa tu, terpaksa jual. Lepas tu sewa rumah saya terpaksa serahkan kepada tuan rumah. Jadi apa yang saya buat, biasanya, bukan biasanya lah, benda ni tak biasa, benda ni jarang berlaku. Jadi apa yang saya buat bila PKP tu, Brunei dah tak boleh pergi, border tutup. Jadi saya duduk berbincang. Sekarang masa tu saya menanggung kerugian lebih kurang 5 angka. Okey, lebih kurang 5 angka kerugian, 5 angka, 6 angka, 6 angka. Okey, ratus ribu saya rugi. Jadi apa saya buat? Saya cuba kurangkan kos operasi, saya cuba jual lah apa yang saya ada untuk kurangkan saya punya hutang tu. Okey, bila saya terpaksa let go lah bila bisnes berudum tu. Jadi apa yang saya boleh katakan, bila berlaku sesuatu ujian yang melibatkan kerugian dalam bisnes, kita sit down, okey, kita tengok apa yang boleh mengurangkan kerugian pertama sekali. Okey, bila mengurangkan kerugian ni, contohnya kita kurangkan OPEX macam saya, kita serahkan rumah, serahkan office, jual kereta, kurangkan tanggungan. Okey, lepas tu kita cuba bayar hutang sebaik mungkin, kurangkan kerugian, lepas tu kita rancang balik. Okay, rancang balik. Apa yang saya buat macam dalam matematik lah. Dunia bisnes ni macam matematik. Kita mencari jalan, dia macam main game. Okey, bila ada berlaku kerugian, okey, kita kena sit down, atur strategi baru, lepas tu kita cuba ambil peluang yang ada ketika itu. Ketika itu, masa PKP 1.0, saya melihat ibu bapa di rumah struggle mengajak anak. Jadi kat situ saya nampak satu peluang. Apa kata, sepanjang 10 tahun saya di Brunei ni, saya berkongsi macam-macam formula, saya berkongsi pengalaman saya, lepas tu mengajar anak tuition. Apa kata, masa itulah saya bincang dengan partner saya, kita bahan bantu belajar yang kita ada ni, kita kongsikan kepada ibu bapa di rumah. Jadi dekat situ saya ambil peluang. Jadi bila berlaku kerugian, dia ada dua perasaan. Satu, kita sayang nak lepaskan bisnes dia ada ni. Tapi kalau kita tak lepas, kita terus rugi. Jadi kita kena orang kata tarik handbrake lah, tarik handbrake sekejap, duduk termenung sekejap, tengok apa yang boleh kita mengurangkan kerugian, lepas tu kita rancang benda yang baru. So daripada situlah saya nampak PKP peluang dan terhasillah produk Pentagon, alat bantu belajar untuk anak menguasai asas matematik, terutama sekali adalah sifir. Okey, semoga membantu menjawab soalan. Sebab itu real case yang berlaku pada saya, memang rugi. Kereta pun saya jual. Jadi saya set up balik. Saya gabungkan 3 jenama. Okey, saya gabungkan 3 jenama untuk mengurangkan kos operasi. Saya gabungkan jenama Pentagon, kita buat jenama baru, rebranding daripada Kitani Max. Lepas tu saya panggil jenama Numan untuk kerjasama dengan kami, dan jenama Kitani. So 3 jenama ni kita gabungkan dalam satu pasukan. Jadi satu pasukan ni bestnya kita dapat kurangkan kos operasi lah. Kurangkan kos operasi syarikat, dan kita bekerja sebagai satu pasukan untuk menjana sales. Itu antara strategi yang kita buat lah. Alhamdulillah dah setahun di Malaysia ni, boleh dikatakan mendapat tempat lah, produk kami mendapat tempat di Malaysia. Tapi ramai lagi yang belum tahu. Doakanlah kami berjaya di sini. Di Brunei kami boleh, produk kami sampai ke Kementerian Pendidikan Brunei, masuk ke perpustakaan, masuk ke istana, insyaAllah. Di Malaysia kami cuba buat yang terbaik. Kumon ajar buat latihan setiap minggu. Okey, Kumon memang ditekankan work hard sebab Kumon ni berasal daripada Jepun. Okey, kalau Jepun ni memang dia work hard lah. Memang kena buat latih tubi yang banyak. Okey, dalam kami, Pentagon, kami fokus kepada congak. Kami fokus kepada congak. Imagine. Kita nak anak kita jawab soalan, imagine. Sampai satu tahap dia boleh congak. Sebab congak ni dah lama ditinggalkan dalam kita punya budaya, dalam kita punya masyarakat di Malaysia. Jadi kami ketengahkan benda tu. Jadi bila anak kita tengok soalan, contoh 13 darab 12, dia boleh congak je. Dia boleh congak je. Saya boleh bagi contoh sekarang tapi tak ada whiteboard. Saya cerita je lah kan. Contoh macam CV 11 14, okay, 14 times 11 kan. 14 times 11. Jadi 14 tu, nombor 1 tu kita letak depan, nombor di tengah kita tambahkan. 1 tambah 4, 5. Nombor di belakang, nombor 4 kan, letakkan di belakang. Jadi 14 darab 11, 154. 1 di depan, di tengah tambahkan, di belakang letakkan di belakang. Jadi anak kita boleh imagine, bila anak kita boleh congak, keyakinan anak kita meningkat dan dia akan suka kepada subjek matematik. Saya bagi contoh lain. Faham kan 14 darab 11 tu kan? 1 di depan, tengah campurkan jadi 5 kan? 4 di belakang. Okey, cuba 23 darab 11. Congak je. 23/11 kita akan dapat jawapan 253. Nombor 2 di depan, 2 tambah 3, 5 di tengah, 3 di belakang. 44/11 484. 52/11 572. Jadi anak kita boleh sampai tahap macam tu. Berbezalah dengan Kumon. Kumon lebih kepada latihan, kami lebih kepada congak. Sebab congak ni kita nak satunya meningkatkan keyakinan anak kita, dan keduanya bila anak kita suka congak, dia akan suka pada subjek matematik. Selama ni kita tak pernah congak pun, tiba-tiba anak kita ni rasa, boleh congak dia jawab maths. Dia jadi anak kita pada dia suka kepada subjek matematik. How do you manage to control all 4 businesses at once? Saya satu pun dah rasa burn out. Okay. Macam mana saya manage? Bukan saya seorang lah. Kita ada 4 orang juga. 3 orang. Kita ada 3 orang yang incas setiap bahagian lah. Jadi macam fokus saya pada bidang, saya memang fokus dalam pemasaran. Lepas tu ada partner ni memang bahagian pengurusan. Ada partner ni dia memang support. Jadi kita bahagikan tugas. Saya fokus pada jenama kita ni. Jadi saya punya partner fokus pada jenama Pentagon, dengan saya punya partner lagi seorang fokus pada jenama Numan. Jadi macam mana saya handle 4 bisnes ni, saya ada tim. Saya ada pasukan. Sebab tu saya cakap tadi, di awal tadi bila berlakunya kerugian, saya gabungkan 3 jenama. Sebab apa saya gabungkan 3 jenama? Sebab jenama Numan ada tim dia, jenama kita ni pun ada tim dia. Jadi 3 tim ni gabung dalam satu pasukan, kita bekerjasama. Jadi masing-masing ada tugas masing-masing. Macam itulah saya kontrol saya punya bisnes lah. Bekerja sebagai satu pasukan. Assalamualaikum Cikman, apa yang diperlukan untuk memasuki pasaran di luar negara seperti Brunei? Okey. Boleh dengar suara saya? Okey, apa yang diperlukan untuk memasuki pasaran di luar negara? Okey, kalau produk, pasaran luar negara antara cara saya masuk luar negara, saya join consumer, saya join fair. Saya join fair yang diadakan di negara tersebut lah. Di Brunei masa tu saya join consumer fair. Consumer fair ni antara fair yang terbesar, antara pesta jualan yang terbesar di negara Brunei. Setiap tahun diadakan 2 kali, pada bulan Januari dan bulan Mei kalau tak silap. Tapi PKP ni ditutup, border tutup. Biasanya setiap tahun 2 kali. Jadi saya join consumer fair tu, bawa produk saya ke Brunei. Masa itulah saya kenal negara Brunei, saya buat networking kat sana. Saya study pasaran Brunei. Daripada situ, bila dah tahu macam mana nak masukkan produk di negara tu, saya bawa produk lah. Consumer fair ni lebih kurang apa-apa fair yang berlaku di negara mana-mana lah, Singapura ke Indonesia je. Fair ni dia merupakan pintu masuk untuk kita tahu negara tu macam mana. Kalau boleh, sebaik mungkin kalau nak masuk ke negara Brunei sebagai contoh, bekerjasama dengan pemborong di sana dulu. Jalankan kerjasama di pemborong di sana, bincang dengan pemborong apa yang diperlukan. Macam produk perlukan pendaftaran. Macam kami produk kesihatan kan, dia perlukan pendaftaran, contoh halal daripada JAKIM, daripada Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia. Brunei pun ada requirement dia tertentu. Dia nak perlukan kelulusan daripada Kementerian Kesihatan di Brunei. Jadi macam mana cara nak masuk? First kali kena study dulu apa yang negara tu perlukan. Paling penting joint venture dengan pemborong di sana, ataupun lantik pemborong di sana, pemborong yang menjual produk kita lah, produk yang sama macam kita, lantik. Sebab pemborong ni biasanya dia dah ada rangkaian kedai. Jadi apa yang kami buat di peringkat awal, kami bekerjasama dengan salah seorang pemborong di Brunei. Masa tu pemborong ni dia ada 9 kedai di Brunei. Brunei ni tak besar, negara dia kecil. Jadi 9 kedai ni dah cover dah satu Brunei. Jadi kami bekerjasama dengan pemborong ni. Kami bagi tahu kami ada produk. Lepas tu kami fokus pada pemasaran. Jadi pemborong ni fokus kepada bahagian sales lah, sales network lah, sales channel. Jadi kami bekerjasama. Lepas tu apa yang diperlukan kami provide untuk masuk ke pasaran negara sana. Jadi dalam pengalaman saya, untuk menjual ada 3 perkara yang saya pegang lah, 3 perkara. Pertama sekali produk, kedua marketing, ketiga sales channel. Okay, produk kena produk yang berkualiti lah. Produk berkualiti ni dari segi kajian dan sebagainya. Lepas tu kena ada kelulusan. Kalau kita menghasilkan produk di rumah, agak susah untuk menembusi pasaran luar negara sebab banyak requirement yang diperlukan. Jadi kalau ada menghasilkan produk di rumah, bekerjasama dengan kilang yang ada kelulusan. Pergi jumpa, contoh kita nak buat sambal. Kita sambal tok nenek kita memang popular lah, memang bukan popular, memang sedap. Okay, kita nak komersialkan. Jadi kita pergi ke kilang yang ada kelulusan dari segi JMP, halal, mesti dan sebagainya. Kita bekerjasama dengan kilang tu. Okay, saya ada formula ni, saya ada resepi, boleh tak kilang ni proses? Jadi buatlah sign agreement dengan kilang tu supaya resepi tu tak dikongsi dengan lain brand owner lah. Itu pertama dari segi produk. Kedua dari segi marketing. Marketing ni macam mana kita nak pastikan ramai orang tahu produk kita. Okay, ada orang dia salah anggap, dia macam contoh saya ada produk, okey kita bekerjasama dengan farmasi. Okey, kita bekerjasama dengan farmasi, kita letak produk kita kat farmasi. Kita dah ada satu pemikiran, insya-Allah produk aku laku. Ataupun kita nak kerjasama dengan Maidin. Maidin besar kan? Ada banyak corangan. Okey, kita letak dekat Maidin. Okay, kita letak dekat Maidin, tapi kalau tak ada bantuan daripada marketing, bukan satu benda mudah lah produk tu akan terjual. Jadi kena support dengan marketing. Okay, yang ketiga tadi adalah sales channel. Kalau marketing kuat, iklan kuat, kita ada billboard, kita ada masuk radio dan sebagainya, tapi sales channel kita tak ada. Sales channel kita menjual online je. Okay, tak ada agent, tak ada kedai ataupun sebagainya, tak ada kat Shopee. Jadi sales channel ni pun sangat penting lah. 3 benda ni saya kena bergerak secara seimbang. Produk, marketing dan sales channel. Okey, soalan seterusnya. Kalau kita mencari business partner, orang macam mana yang sesuai? Kriteria apa yang kita perlu tengok? Okey, business partner. Okey, macam mana saya cari business partner? Pertama sekali, kalau boleh kita cari, kita kena kenal diri kita, kekuatan kita apa. First sekali saya kenal diri saya lah, kekuatan saya adalah pemasaran. Memang saya suka buat kerja marketing, bercakap dengan orang, bercakap dekat televisyen, bercakap kat radio. Itu kekuatan saya marketing. Jadi kita kena cari partner yang memenuhi kekurangan kita. Mungkin kita cari partner bahagian pengurusan ataupun partner ni macam saya cerita tadi, kita joint venture kan. Kita joint venture dengan satu partner di Brunei Darussalam. Partner yang di Brunei Darussalam tu, pemborong tu dia ada 9 kedai. Ada 9 kedai seluruh Brunei. Itulah partner yang kita nak. Kena cari yang partner yang memenuhi apa yang kita perlukan. Kalau cari partner disebabkan ataupun kawan, adik-beradik, tapi kerja sama. Dia pun pandai marketing, kita pun pandai marketing, dia akan berlaku clash nanti. Jadi cari partner yang kita perlukan untuk bisnes kita. Bukan cari partner, cari partner yang kita perlukan untuk bisnes kita. Jadi kalau kita kuat marketing, kita perlukan pengurusan, kita cari partner pengurusan. Kalau kita ada kemampuan, kita hire orang yang lebih layak uruskan kita punya company, jadi kita fokus pada marketing. Kalau kita lemah dari segi marketing, kita cari orang marketing ataupun kita hire outsource. Macam tu lah dia punya game. Kalau boleh bergerak seorang, nanti bila dah ada nama, kita joint venture. Okey, ada soalan lain? Ataupun nak bertanya secara live, boleh buka mic. Okey, jadi saya ulang sekali lagi, kriteria yang diperlukan untuk partner adalah memenuhi keperluan kita lah, memenuhi kita punya kekuatan. Apa yang kelemahan kita cari partner yang bahagian tu.
Hello.
Okey, hello.
Cik. Ya, Cik Sulaiman. Ya. Sorry. Ada soalan daripada yang lain atau bagaimana? Hello.
Hello, ya dengar. Okay, ada soalan. Okey, ada beberapa soalan nak bertanya, boleh bertanya. Kalau cerita pengalaman saya, nanti short sendiri pula.
Okey, tak apa. It's okay, Cik Sulaiman. Nanti kita, along the way kita chat lah. Hello, dengar .
Okey. Okay, kerugian.
Okey,
Saya
apa dia,
cerita
Cik?
sikit. Okay, saya cerita sikit tentang kerugian pertama bila saya menceburkan diri dalam dunia bisnes. Lepas habis belajar di Multimedia University, saya join satu bisnes ni, peternakan lintah. Saya ternak lintah, itu kerugian pertama saya. Kerugian saya bernilai 75,000 ketika itu pada tahun 2010. Jadi apa yang berlaku ketika itu, saya tidak bersedia sebenarnya untuk jadi seorang usahawan. Kita ikut trend masa tu. Masa tu trend peternakan lintah, peternakan cacing, apa lagi, cendawan, jadi tengah viral masa tu. Jadi saya pun kata okey lah, kita buat lintah lah. Jadi saya buat pinjaman bank dengan menggunakan skim mahasiswa, dapat pinjam bank, lepas tu saya cari investment daripada kawan-kawan invest semua. Tapi benda tu yang tak pasti lagi. Dia viral tapi itulah. Masa tu saya tak faham lagi tentang 3 perkara tu kan, produk, marketing dengan sales channel. Produk pun tak jelas masa tu, produk lintah. Apa je produk yang boleh dihasilkan dengan lintah selain daripada bekam kan. Jadi masa tu kita ikut sebab ramai orang buat. Itu pertama, produk kita tak tahu apa. Yang kedua, marketing. Marketing masa tu tak perlu marketing sebab dia dah viral. Yang ketiga, sales channel. Mana kita nak jual produk kita ni. Bila dah ternak lintah, kita nak jual lintah tu kat mana. Saya ada ikat ni lah, contract manufacturing dengan satu company ni. Tapi lintah saya tak jadi. Lintah saya tidak menghasilkan anak lintah untuk dijual. Jadi kesimpulan yang saya boleh cakap, saya tak pandai dalam bidang tu. Saya main ikut je, main buat je. Kadang-kadang kita rasa kita boleh. Tapi sebenarnya peringkat awal untuk cebur dalam dunia bisnes adalah ilmu. Kena faham, kena belajar ilmu. Kalau boleh untuk kita nak jam, contoh kita dah kerja, lepas tu kita nak decide keluar daripada kerja nak full time business. Pertama sekali, pastikan passive income kita, business kita yang nak buat tu buat secara part time dulu, buat sikit-sikit dulu, buat secara part time. Bila business tu dah menjana income lebih kurang dengan gaji kita ataupun lebih daripada gaji kita, barulah kita boleh ambil keputusan keluar daripada kita punya dunia kerja. Okay, jangan keluar dulu kerja sebab kita dah ada komitmen. Kita dah ada komitmen yang perlu dibayar setiap bulan. Kita dah terikat dengan gaji kita tu. Okay, kalau boleh start dengan part time dulu. Jana income, kalau boleh part time kita tu melebihi daripada gaji yang kita ada sekarang ni. Jadi gaji ni tak terusik pun. Part time business ni yang kita belanja duit. Sampai tahap macam tu. Yang kedua, sebelum jam dunia bisnes, pastikan ada 6 bulan gaji lah. Ini standard lah. Ramai orang bagi nasihat macam ni. Kena ada 6 bulan standby gaji. In case kita jam dalam dunia bisnes, kita ada 6 bulan untuk survive. 6 bulan untuk survive bisnes baru kita. Jadi itu nasihat saya siapa yang nak cuba berjinak dalam dunia bisnes. Kecuali kita dapat satu projek lah. Tengah-tengah kerja, kita pakar dalam bidang IT kan. Kita dapat satu projek IT yang confirm bagi 1 juta untuk 2 tahun punya 2 tahun punya projek. Itu tak ada masalah lah. Berhenti kerja, cari orang yang betul-betul boleh buat projek ni, set up team, run. Itu tak ada masalah. Tapi kalau yang baru nak start ni, bukan projek, benda yang tak pasti lagi. Jadi nasihat saya, cuba jana part time income dulu sampai sama dengan gaji kita, ataupun sekarang ni kalau boleh start business tanpa modal. Cuba cari peluang start business tanpa modal. Kita perlukan modal apabila kita nak kembangkan bisnes tu. Bisnes tanpa modal ni banyak. Pertama sekali dropship, okey, jadi agent kan, jadi agent hartanah. Tu semua tak adalah modal besar sangat kan. Dropship, kita jadi produk-produk ni dah famous. Produk ni dah famous di pasaran. Kita jadi dropship, kita jual produk dia. Produk bila dah viral, dah terkenal, dah ada jenama di pasaran, nak menjual senang. Kita sebut je jenama ni, orang dah tahu dah, oh kamu agent. Jadi kita start business, part time business tanpa modal. Itu paling bagus lah. Jadi kita start, kita belajar. Macam dalam dunia saya ni, dunia bisnes saya ni, belajar menjual sangat penting lah. Kadang kita malu kan. Banyak orang yang berfikiran bila kita start bisnes ni, kawan-kawan dengan adik-beradik kita tak support. Banyak yang pemikiran macam tu. Orang luar yang support. Tapi sebenarnya pendapat saya, kita pun tak cerita dengan kawan kita bila kita bisnes. Malu. Kita pun tak cerita dengan adik-beradik kita, segan. Kan nanti dia reject, alah kawan reject, dah gaduh pula. Okey, jadi saya nampak sebenarnya kita kena bagi tahulah apa yang kita buat pada kawan. Kalau kawan tu tak beli, mungkin dia akan teringat kemudian kan. Jadi yang paling penting kita buat marketing. Marketing ni adalah untuk menyampaikan apa yang kita sedang buat. Kalau boleh satu Malaysia tahu saya buat Pentagon Max. Satu Malaysia tahu saya ada produk Pentagon CV. Itu marketing. Yang seterusnya adalah sales. Macam mana kita nak close sales. Bila ramai dah tahu, itu terpulanglah pada kita, agent kita ataupun pada tim kita untuk close sales. Jadi banyak bisnes tanpa modal, boleh start dengan tu dulu lah. Jangan ambil risiko dalam keadaan sekarang ni. Okay, berapa lama Cik Man ambil masa untuk bangkit semula selepas gagal? Apa first step untuk bangkit semula? Berapa lama? Okey, kalau yang terbaru ni masa PKP 1.0, start bulan 3 sampai bulan 3 saya tak ada buat apa-apa, 3 bulan saya tak ada buat apa-apa. Lepas tu saya itulah cari jalan. Lepas tu bulan 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 bulan. 4 bulan saya duk buat kerja macam-macam. Antara sebab saya buat kerja macam saya jual ikan masa tu PKP kan. Saya jual ikan, saya jual barang ekspor Cina. Saya jadi dropship lah. Masa tu saya dah tak ada duit dah, rugi. Masa tu saya jadi dropship. 4 bulan saya jadi dropship. Saya tengok kawan saya dia ambil import barang Cina. Jadi dia ada buka dropship. Okay, saya kata okey, saya ada pasaran Brunei, saya ada kawan-kawan Brunei. Nombor kontak banyak Brunei. Okey, saya nak jual barang-barang dia. Jadi saya jadi dropship. Saya jual barang-barang Cina ke Brunei. Lepas tu ada kawan saya tu dia jual ikan. Dia beli ikan secara borong, lepas tu dia distribute lah pada kawasan-kawasan yang nak. Jadi saya jadi juga dropship jual ikan, saya ambil order. Bestnya bila jadi dropship ni kita boleh gunakan teknik pre-order. Ambil order dulu. Bila produk tu dah terkenal, contoh macam ikan lah, ikan semua orang nak kan. Jadi tugas saya ambil order dulu dengan jiran-jiran saya. Okey, saya bagi tahu lah, Assalamualaikum jiran, saya Cik Man, rumah saya sekian-sekian. Saya nak jual ikan ni, ikan kembung, ikan kembung masa tu. Lebih kurang ikan kembung lah. Jadi saya kata harga sekian-sekian. Siapa berminat boleh ambil order. Ikan akan sampai dalam masa 2 hari. Jadi saya ambil order. Ada dalam dapat masa tu dalam 200 kilo order daripada jiran saya. Jiran saya besar, ramai. Satu perumahan tu ada 500 lebih buah rumah. Bila saya dah ambil order, saya pergi jumpa kawan saya ni, saya ada 200 kilo. Macam mana next seterusnya lah. Sebab tu saya kata kalau boleh jual jadi dropship pada jenama-jenama yang dah terkenal dulu. Kat situ kita belajar menjual. Jadi 4 bulan tu saya mengambil masa 4 bulan dengan buat bermacam-macam benda untuk cari idea macam mana nak bangkit balik bisnes. Kebanyakannya apa yang berlaku bila kita gagal ni, bila kita drop ni, kita tak nak buat apa-apa. Kita rasa down, memang down lah. Down lah. Tapi jangan down lama-lama lah. Jadi antara cara saya atasi down tu, saya buat benda lain. Saya divert saya punya stres tu kat benda lain. Saya jual ikan, saya jual barang-barang Cina, saya jual itu, saya jual ini, face mask, sanitizer, semua saya jual. Saya nak divert attention tapi dalam masa yang sama saya cuba rangka balik strategi. Okey, apa perlu yang kita buat? Macam mana kita nak kurangkan kerugian? Macam mana kita nak bayar hutang? Okey, lepas tu susun balik. Daripada situ, jadi mengambil masa lebih kurang 7 bulan lah. 3 bulan PKP, 4 bulan saya buat macam-macam. Bulan ke-10 baru saya set up. Saya set up balik, gabungkan 3 jenama. 3 bulan planning saja. Bulan 10, 11, 12 planning untuk tahun 2021. 3 bulan tu. Kita planning apa kita nak buat dari segi marketing macam mana, dari segi sales channel macam mana, produk apa kita nak ketengahkan untuk pasaran Malaysia. Bulan 1 terus start. Dengan planning selama 3 bulan. Jadi macam itulah saya rangka saya punya cara kerja. Okay, semoga dapat membantu, dapat beri idea.
Okey, Assalamualaikum Cik Sulaiman.
Waalaikumsalam.
Assalamualaikum. Cik Sulaiman,
Okay.
saya minta maaf masa sangat menceburui kita. Tapi tak apa, it's okay. Kita boleh ada sesi dan sebagainya. Mungkin Cik Man boleh tinggalkan kontak dan sebagainya untuk kita berbincang sebab kita nak pergi ke sesi seterusnya bersama alumni UniKL.
Okey.
So again, masa sangat mencuburi kita. Saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada Cik Sulaiman Shah kerana berkongsi pengalaman jatuh bangun sebagai usahawan. Orang sembang, alah Semua cerita macam movie, dia tak tahu kita sanggup tak pergi ke rumah ambil order.
Boleh saya jawab satu soalan lagi?
Masa
Sikit
sangat
je, sikit
mencuri Cik Sulaiman. Sikit, okey, rekaskan.
Okey,
kurang berseminit.
bagaimana nak support someone yang bisnes dia sedang down? Okey, support tak semestinya dalam kewangan. Kalau mampu kita beli, kalau tak mampu kita channelkan dia dengan kawan-kawan ataupun kita punya network yang ada. Ataupun kita tolong promote. Itu je antara kita boleh support lah bila kawan kita sedang down. Okey, itu semoga menjawab soalan.
Okey, terima kasih kepada Cik Sulaiman. Nampaknya ramai nak tahu kan. Jadi maksudnya Cik Sulaiman telah berkongsi selalu cerita pasal tips, pasal passion, tapi kali ni cerita pasal apakah kerugian yang telah saya dapat bila jadi usahawan. Itu yang trigger ramai orang nak tanya tu. Tapi tak apa, anyway terima kasih kepada Cik Sulaiman. InsyaAllah kita akan berbincang. Hidup Cik Man. Okey. Saya pun kalau saya pun macam tu tak tahulah saya kan nak jual ikan ke ikan tak pasti ya. Tapi kita sangat-sangat menghargai perkongsian pengalaman itu, seharap memberikan panduan kepada kita. Okey, sekali lagi kepada Cik Sulaiman.
Real business ni lain macam lah.
Lain macam. Dia bukan cerita drama-drama Korea.
Bukan.
Okey, terima kasih. InsyaAllah kita akan sambung untuk sesi seterusnya. We have another speaker yang bersama kita. We have another speaker with us today. Norsiah Binti Ahiddin. How are you? Norsiah, how are you?
Hai, selamat petang semua.
Sorry for keeping you waiting. People are excited to know more about personal experience and journey related to entrepreneurship. But anyway, before we pass the floor to you, I would like to introduce a little bit about yourself and so that people can get to know you better. Okay?
Okay.
Alright. Okay, a little bit about Miss Norsiah. She graduated from UniKL with Bachelor of Biomedical Science. Currently the CEO and founder for Norsiah Beauty Labs in Berhad. So experience probiotic skincare own brand or product beauty product range, certified and experience in laboratory analysis as well as extracting natural raw material sources. The innovation of prebiotic skincare products that has been produced has also received the attention of local university, namely UniKL, UPM, MTDC. She's also successfully convinced several spas and beauty academies to become key strategic partners in marketing the product. Okay, so that is a little bit about Miss Norsiah. So the floor is yours, Miss Norsiah.
Okay, thank you dengan pengenalan yang begitu. Macam saya pun tak kenal diri saya sendiri bila dengar pengenalan itu.
Miss Norsiah. Tak apa. That's a request. I think from fans lah.
Okay, saya
boleh tak Norsiah open her camera so that we can see.
Sedikit slide untuk di-share supaya boleh.
Boleh kita pun tak tahu macam mana lah rupanya orang punya diri
Sudah open dia macam siap ni. Boleh. Okay, boleh nampak saya punya slide?
Belum Norsiah.
Belum lagi lah. Norsiah. You need to share lah. You kena share.
Tak nampak lagi ya?
Tak nampak lagi.
Kejap.
Now we can see you.
Kejap. Mungkin dia akan makan dulu. Ya. Tapi tidak apa, sementara tunggu kamera dengan slide ini dia berfungsi. Oke, tidak apa, saya start saja lah ya. Oke, seperti yang diperkenalkan
Boleh,
tadi,
boleh, silakan.
saya Norsiah Ahiddin, saya berasal daripada Sabah, menjauh di sini seberang. Oke, saya merupakan alumni daripada UniKL MDEC pada tahun 2014 dalam bidang ijazah sains makmal klinikal kepujian. Sebelum terjun dalam bidang keusahawanan ini, saya merupakan medical lab technologist di hospital di Makmal Labeling KPJ Jalan Pahang, dan beberapa kali lah saya bertukar-tukar makmal patologi ini. Siapa yang macam hang?
Boleh dengar, jelas.
Oke, saya teruskan. Sehingga pada tahun 2017 saya mengembangkan perniagaan secara kecil-kecilan. Saya memulai modal baru sedikit, menghasilkan produk sabun buat scrub daripada kopi, sisa kopi ini saya buat scrub. Dan daripada sana kejap kawan-kawan saya lihat dulu, saya
Hi, Miss Stacy, are you there? Miss Putri. Camera you on, pening. Okay, it seems that we have some connectivity with Miss Norsiah. I think we can go to Cik Abdul Azharee dulu. Is it okay, Cik Abdul Azharee?
Yes, okay.
Okay, while we are waiting for Miss Norsiah to get connected and share her thoughts, I think we pass the floor to you first.
Okay. Right.
Connectivity, right.
Kita backup, no problem.
Alright,
Alright,
silakan.
okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good afternoon. Selamat bertemu kembali. I've just set a topic just now, right? So I would like to thank again to all the committee members for this very wonderful program from all the GLUs. I think because our company, Academy Usaha Micro, is also a partner for both for two universities listed in GLUs, which is MMU as well as UNITEN. So I see that the Ong is here also. How are you, Dr. Ong?
Janji saya kita jumpa hari ini kan?
Ya betul. Sudah tahu dah janji dekat dalam Facebook, so kita kena bertemu hari ini. Okay, I think I've shared a lot of things just now. Cumanya as for now, we will like to make it very casually based on our experience in in business, and I've been in business for the last 14 years and I'm still in business, alhamdulillah. Just to reintroduce myself, my name is Azharee. I'm the founder of Academy Usaha Micro as well as few other companies, and at the moment my focus is obviously for Academy Usaha Micro, AUM. If you guys can just Google our name and you can just go to our website, you can see what are the activities that we have been doing for the last 14 years, and incorporated Sdn Bhd in 2014, officially almost 7 years. Of course, my experience before I started my business, I was in corporate. Before that, of course, I studied in UNITEN. Okay, I'm actually alumni of UNITEN doing engineering. You know, that's why when the moment you guys talk about AdMaths, I was like, oh my god, AdMaths is like, I don't know. I don't know why did I take engineering, to be very direct, but I was doing quite okay lah during SPM kan for AdMaths. Well, that time everybody is talking about being doctors, engineers. So I fell into that category. So I was supposed to be an engineer. Alhamdulillah, I learned a lot when I was in UNITEN. I don't know anyone from UNITEN here. Sorry if I cannot recognize you, whether the doctors, lecturers or researchers or any rep from UNITEN, alumni. Sorry kalau tak perasan. Minta maaf sangat. I was in UNITEN. Doing my electrical electronics engineering, and alhamdulillah, from there I moved. I was one of the earliest students selected to be working in a multinational company before I even graduated. So I remember that we attended few a bunch of interviews by Shell and some of the companies, and alhamdulillah, I remember on the final year in UNITEN, I was interviewed by Shell. A very tough interview. You know, there are so many series of interviews and activities, and alhamdulillah, before I even finished my study, I was already offered a job in Shell, and I was appointed as the that time was area manager. Bayangkanlah, after graduated terus pergi area manager. So I'm like, what is this, man? So, but that was my experience. I worked in Shell, and then after a few years, I was called by the competitor which is the Caltex. I did a lot of commercial function in the companies. I managed a lot of clients, especially big clients. Most of the big clients and government clients was passed over to me. I was in KL, then I moved to Johor, then moved back to KL. And then after 2007, after I had such a wonderful years over in Caltex, being an American company, very open company, and I decided to move on my life with my own business. I humbly started with insurance, all the simple things, insurance, MLMs and stuff, and then in 2000, I think 2007, 2008, around that, then I decided to move on the consultation. Positive Fatimah, Alumni, our pride. Okay, hashtag kita UNITEN. Hashtag kita UNITEN. We are UNITEN. All right. Thank you, Positive Fatimah. Sorry. Yeah, Positive Fatimah, the one communicated with me. Okay, good. Oh, wow. So, Alumni UNITEN. Okay, hi guys. Sorry, tak perasan. Okay, and then 2007, 2008, because my passion is always, I don't know, I love to make people smile. That's was my passion since then. So I feel like after 2007, my business was really down. So I was selling products over the streets. I remember saya menjual barang-barang, saya menjual makanan di tepi jalan almost, I think about 4 years, 3 years plus with my family just to survive. So I was in a corporate and then moved down very low towards the street hawkers and sellers. So I have that experience. And when I was there, I was talking to all of my friend, my neighbor lah yang niaga tepi jalan ni dekat Bazar Ramadan and whatnot. I think they need help. They come over to see me, and my mom is the key person. Have been promoting, hey, you go and talk to my son lah. My son can help you to do branding lah, to do here lah, to do that lah. So because I was in corporate, so then people start talking to me, coming to me and asking questions, minta tolong, how to have a good brand. So I've been starting helping while selling my nasi lemak and pulut kuning on the streets, and then from there we came out with the idea of in 2014 officially. So 7 years in sole proprietor. Then we moved to Sdn Bhd in 2014. We start off by the name of Academy Micro. So the passion of helping people is there even until today. I'm still around. And talking about other business, I was also handling a reflex surgery center. Mengurut reflexology center over in UniKL was very badly affected last year. So we closed down much earlier than the rest. We closed down in April 2020. We were there for like 4.5 years, making like almost $500,000 at least per year. But we closed down totally because mengurut kan, nobody want to touch anyone that time. So no choice. I have to, like our friend just now in tadi Cik Man kan mentioned about how much he lost. I lost that as well last year. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of ringgit. And some are still owing bank now. I don't know what would happen. You want to bankrupt, I don't care lah. I'm just like I just don't care. All right. And my partner was also affected, obviously. And I lost my staff. I have to lay off my staff. Last year. All of them are OKUs. Was very disheartened, but that is the experience. And I have to juggle myself between the reflexology as well as the academy, Usaha Micro. Alhamdulillah, I have a very powerful team. I have very young team in my academy. They are the one who actually make me survive. Right? I was like totally blur, know what to do. I even sell fish. I even sell squid. Jual ikan lah, jual sotong lah for the survive last year. I think I was even asked in Asro Awani on that. I was like surprised during live interview with Awani, and the anchor asked me, I saw that you are selling sotong dengan ikan kan? Alamak. Asro Awani is looking at me. So so I mean that was a very interesting challenge, and we have to close down our business, and then I have to make sure that AUM survive. And alhamdulillah, we start off with we transform ourselves from physical programs to virtual programs. I think Dr. Ong was really humble and come over and join our session that day. And Dr. Firdaus as well from MMU. So I was like so intrigued to know that a university lecturer like him coming to our session that night, at night. So then we move on with our business model. Alhamdulillah, we survived COVID-19 pandemic. Alhamdulillah, my team now is very, very active. In fact, now they're preparing for some preparation for few programs, especially on digitalization. So that's basically my experience from corporate to a hustler over the street, and then became CEO of a company. We are not that big, but we are a very humble company, but we know that we can contribute more. And moving forward, 2022, so we already have a plan of listing our company, insyaAllah, doakan by 2027 by right, and then our aspiration is to become the ASEAN leading digital transformation accelerator for ASEAN SME. So we're targeting ASEAN. In fact, I've just finished my pitching over in Taiwan last week. We're supposed to have a booth this weekend, but I have to back off because of my programs in other states. So we have been winning a lot of, alhamdulillah, we have been winning a lot of awards and there locally, internationally, and these are the experience that we have. We move on from a very humble company helping micro entrepreneurs, now become an academy, now become a digital transformation agency. So it's very interesting. It's a challenge, because our brand academy is just too strong in media, in government, in public, in mass media. Then we move to technology company. Then that makes us as what we are now. We believe that we can help more people. We believe that digitalization is the way to move forward. We cannot be left out with this digitalization structure. In fact, just now I was just looking at another deep technology like blockchain, cryptocurrency, IoT. We are studying something to develop more solutions for that. Maybe you can work with any of the universities around, especially GLU, where UNITEN, MMU, kan. I think I discussed with Dr. Ong on that also. How to bring more ideas from the students to create more startup, to have more ideas in terms of technology. So yeah, that's basically who I am. Like I said, media has been calling me I don't know, non-stop. I don't know why, since last year. Rezeki Allah nak bagi kan, masuk TV tak berhenti-berhenti. I think I speak more than the minister in certain angle. Awani, I'm like a resident artist in Aswani, Bernama and RTM. Every time there's an announcement for digitalization as well as for SME, I'll definitely have to be there and debate and discuss. For me, I speak from my heart. I just want to make sure that everybody is happy. I want to make sure that SMEs can move on to survive, especially during the pandemic, because we lost a lot of businesses. I just came back from Malacca looking at many company close, like I told Cik Batia just now, try to find the top 3 asam pedas pun dah tutup kedai dah in Malacca. No more already asam pedas in Malacca. So I was so stunned when I was in Malacca, looking at Intermark, to such huge building in Malacca, hotel no more already, that become like a ghost building. So we understand that, but we are lucky enough to have transform our company that fast, to make sure that we survive. So now my company really focus on digitalization and helping SME. In fact, we are also the technical service provider, as I mentioned earlier, for the SME business digitalization grant. I shared that just now, and these are the our aspiration moving forward. All right. So, is there any question? I would love to for you guys to ask questions. About I was told by the organizer that this session is more casual. Just now I already given a speech, so this is more casual lah. You wanna ask anything? Please ask me. I'm just a simple and very humble guy to answer your question. Oh yeah, alumni tanya dulu. Alumni tanya dulu. Can you share one memorable experience relating to building up your business that you still remember until now? Okay, interesting. Thank you for the question. My colleague from Alumni UNITEN department. Okay, I think the most important important moment that we can remember until today is that, of course, our first ever client. Yeah, our first ever client. When we managed to get the first ever sales from a micro entrepreneur paying something to you with a certain amount, I think that was amazing because I remember I helped one of the company, very small company selling guava, air jambu dengan jambu apa, jambu batu dengan air jambu batu, right, over the street. He came humbly to me and asked me, Azharee, can you help me to create some branding here and there, you know, apa namanya, and I remember the story. The name is Man, nama dia lupa nama penuh dia, tapi macam Cik Man lah, panggil dia Cik Man. Okay, and then he was asking me, Azharee, can you tell me what brand that can we bring to the company? So I told him, apa namanya, I called him Abang Man. May I ask you something? Why don't you use like jambu 888 lah, jambu 999 lah? Because those are the way of people branding guava business that time. Very, very territorial, very abang long kind of business. So he told me he doesn't want to follow that. That's the best part about him. He doesn't want to follow that. So I told him, okay, never mind. So what do you have in mind? I asked him. I mean, being a consultant, I always ask questions. I love to ask questions because I was trained by Caltex and Shell that time. So I asked him, what do you want? What do you want to be? So he said, lah, I still got to be jambu, okay lah. Dia kata, alamak. And then I told him, okay, never mind. Your name is Man, Abang Man. You are selling jambu, kan? Why don't you just call yourself a Man Jambu? Why don't you just brand your product as Man Jambu? And he was like, so stunned. He was asking, what? Man Jambu? Do you think that I'm that jambu? I also like blur sekejap. Apa maksud dia ni dengan jambu apa ni? Dia kata, I don't think so, I'm that jambu. Aku tak jambu lah, Azharee. You are selling jambu, man. Of course you can call yourself jambu. Oh, betul juga lah eh. He's very humble, like, okay. So from now on, that time and until today, the brand still remain as Man Jambu. Okay, alhamdulillah, he produced a lot of other products as well. And that was the first ever payment, of course. No sales, don't talk. Okay, no payment, no talk. Right. So he paid, and then I mean, looking at him successfully doing his business, I think that's something that very memorable. So I remember him until today, Man Jambu, right? Until today, I still connect with him anyway, right? So I hope that that inspire our alumni and our students here from the GLU. Okay, Puan Rohani tanya, what is your motivation to overcome the challenges? Okay, I think the motivation that I always tell my team in my company is that remember, when we do business, it's all about helping people. Regardless whether you are in technology, you are in academy, you are selling keropok, you are selling baju batik, whatever lah you are selling in this business, you are mengurut orang ke apa ke, it's all about solving people's problem. When you solve people's problem, you help people. Because I, as a Muslim, I look beyond what we can offer, what we can get from the business. I'm looking at, you know, and on how can we bring this business to afterlife. Okay, untuk bawa ke dunia akhirat. Jadi when you meet people, when you understand the concept of helping people and solving people problem, I think that always motivate us to move forward and get new solution, find new solution, help more people, you know. Helping doesn't have to be like one-to-one. It can be a group, can be a community, can be a market, you know. So I think that really great passion to me, because we are not that long in this country anyway, in this world anyway. People, I mean, God is calling us going back to the right eternity world at any time, especially during this COVID, you know. So I think that really motivates us to move forward. I hope I answered Puan Rohani question, ya, ataupun Dr. Rohani. Thank you. Naturally, what's the difference? The next question. What's the difference between the corporate challenge and a small business challenge? Okay. All right. I like this. Okay, now corporate challenge versus small business challenge. Of course. At the end of the day, it's all about the size, the aspiration, the objective, the mission, vision are all totally different. But one thing that I learned during COVID-19, when you saw big corporate going down, you know, what's airline in Australia, Cathay Pacific was closed down, you know, bankrupted, and all those happened last year, and even this year still happening, you know. So I noticed that every business has it's almost the same challenge, but the difference is only the scale. Take note on that. Only the scale. This fella losing like billions of US dollar. This fella losing like million US dollar. I might be losing like tens of thousands of US dollar, for example. So, but the challenge is the same. You have to save your company. You have to make sure that the business can move on. But the difference is only the scale. Thus, alang-alang you nak rugi, lebih baik you rugi dengan besar. Maksudnya, alang-alang nak rugi, might as well your company become a multi-billion company. So that at least you have buffer to survive. You have some cushion to survive. I think that is, one of the same yet different. Of course, in terms of the culture among SME, I try to bring corporate culture to my company, because EM has a very open culture. Like what I had over in Caltex. There's no bosses. Everything is equal, but everything have to move in one ship. Me as the nahoda of the kapal, I have to make sure that the company move on. So I think that is some of part of it. And I learned a lot in terms of financial management when I was in Caltex, and I was in Shell. That brought me the experience in my company to manage my financial well. Even though sometimes ke laut juga. I mean, I'm just being direct. Even though bagus macam mana pun, sometimes it's still ke laut. But anyway, it is still at least the experience will help in terms of bringing managing the finance. Very crucial, extremely crucial. And of course, the branding. So I always inspire with Caltex, with Shell, registered overseas, can be all worldwide. So I'm very inspired. So that's why I always focus. That's why people call me as the CEO of Academy. People don't call me Azharee as something. I brought the corporate branding in my company as compared to normal branding, as what we always do in the SME. So I corporatize my entity so people understand that we are talking to an entity, Academy of Micro, not to Azharee as the founder. So I hope I answered Puan Rohani question. Banyak soalan. My pleasure, Puan Rohani. My pleasure. Cik Batia terus bagi tahu timing kita terlepas pula kan. Ada lagi kan? 15 minit lagi kot. 10 minit lagi.
Ada lagi 5 minit lagi.
5 minit lagi. Okay. Alright, good.
5 minit lagi
Doktor, alright, Chun. Dr. Abdul Hadi Muhammad tanya, are Malaysian SME journey ready for the next pandemic in your opinion, for the perspective of business? Excellent question, Doctor. Thank you very much. Of course, pandemic, I always said, is always, post-pandemic, is always the unknown. You never know what will happen. But at least with pandemic, a lot of things has prospered. First, the one that we love most is obviously digitalization. This would at least help us to be ready, in the next pandemic, or hopefully the next 100 years, like what we had last 100 years. All right? Digitalization, I see people are intrigued to start learning on digitalization, regardless whether using social media ke, your CRM ke, HRM ke, website ke, whatever lah. People are more prone to learn digital so that they don't want to feel left out, because they know if they are left out, gone case we are, all of us. All right, so that's one thing. Secondly, financial management. And I believe that with pandemic, financial management will definitely, we are more ready in terms of controlling our financial, because without any buffer in terms of funding in your account, how on earth are we going to survive for the next at least 3 to 6 months during the first phase of pandemic? So I think that will make sure we learn more. We want to know more about financial so that we can manage our sales, our cash flow, because majority of the cash flow coming from the salary, the rental, all this OPEX that is listed in the business. At least people are intriguing more to learn more on financial, so that we can be financially sound when we meet another pandemic. Doctor. I think that is two things that we learn. And the last one I had to mention this is the team, right? It's the team that makes us stronger. All right, make sure that we take care of your team. I tried to safeguard my team in Santai, but I cannot, because the business cannot move on. I cannot pay the rental already, so I have to lay off. But I try to contain my team in academy so that at least losing somebody in Santai I can still maintain my team in academy. So alhamdulillah, we maintain it, alhamdulillah. So create openness and transparency play a very important, especially during crisis like pandemic, right? Boleh kot satu dua soalan lagi. Do you keep in touch with existing clients? Are they repeated clients? Yes, of course. Positive Fatimah, we always go to the existing client because the cost of getting a client is like almost 10 times higher than managing existing client. So we prefer to go to the alumni, to go to the existing client, to propose a new solution, a new program, a new ideas. So that will save costs. At the same time, it shorten the sales cycle because they already know us. There's no issue of reputation, issue of who the hell is AM and stuff, and they can come on board to whatever solution that we have in the academy. So I think as a client is better. Repeated client also good. Can you share big why doing what you do? Okay, that's why I told earlier. Initially, personally, I love to see people smile, and I don't know why. I love people smiling. So people smile when they feel good. So that's why our solution will make people feel good because they feel that the problem has been solved. I think that is the big why that we want to do, and of course it's all about afterlife. I always believe it's about afterlife. Bukan untuk dunia sahaja, tapi dunia dan akhirat. So bila kita tolong orang ni, tak kisahlah apa solution pun, at least that will give good effect when I leave the world. Okay. Brilliant. Please, we can get connected. If we connected, okay, boleh. Dr. Abdullah, can. Dr. Abdul Adi, sorry. Can. I'll message you, no problem. Masya Allah, simple why but so meaningful. Yeah, I mean, regardless you jual kerepek ke, you jual consultation ke, you ada university ke, you ada, and the good thing because Allah select us to be in education like what you have in university. That's why I believe those people who are in a university remember every day that we come to work is all about helping people, helping the new generation to kickstart. When we remember that, and your pahala bila you tolong orang dalam university, dalam academy, it will not stop during afterlife. I think that is the most meaningful big why for all the team of GLU here. I mean, you guys have been doing such an amazing job because I'm a product of GLU anyway. Okay, I'm the product of GLU anyway. So I don't mind telling that, and that bring us at a different level, especially when we are called back by Allah SWT to meet Him in afterlife. I think that's just very powerful. For this aspiration for not just me and even all my team to be more vigilant and strong, especially in managing crisis like pandemic. So I think that's it.
Yeah.
Any other question?
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Encik Azharee, for sharing your thoughts, your experience. Giving back is about purpose, it's about adding value rather than the mindset of making money lah. People always think that business is about money. The challenge part, they do not see the struggle and the effort that's being put lah. It's not as easy as it speaks. But anyway, so sorry we are out of time.
No problem.
So now, so no worries. We have another slot now. We have Norsiah also back online with us. I think the next session we would like to invite is Miss Norsiah to share her entrepreneurship journey with the rest of the team. And by the way, along the way as we speak and sharing, if you have any questions, you can always post in the chat box. I think along the way, the speakers and the previous speaker can always address it along the way. Okay, the floor is yours, Miss Norsiah.
Okay, thanks once again. Minta maaf dengan sedikit masalah teknikal sebentar tadi. Okay, okay, saya Norsiah. Saya merupakan Managing Director untuk Muhd Beauty Lab Sdn Bhd dan juga founder kepada Norsiah Gold and Jewels. Seperti yang saya katakan tadi, saya menemukan syarikat ini bermula dengan menjual homemade skincare pada tahun 2017, sehinggalah saya mampu membina sebuah kilang kosmetik untuk menghasilkan produk-produk jenama saya sendiri pada tahun 2019, dan selain daripada menghasilkan produk jenama saya sendiri, kilang kosmetik ini juga telah membantu ramai usahawan-usahawan kosmetik yang lain untuk menghasilkan produk mereka dengan MOQ dan MOQ yang rendah sesuai dengan budget lah. Tapi M sebenarnya kita untuk penubuhan kilang kosmetik ini adalah dia yang pertama membantu usahawan kosmetik yang lain untuk mendapatkan produk kosmetik dengan MOQ yang rendah. Yang kedua, kita mau membantu petani-petani di luar bandar ini untuk menjana pendapatan dengan penubuhan kilang kosmetik ini. Sebab kilang kosmetik Norsiah ini adalah, saya percaya adalah satu-satunya kilang kosmetik yang pertama di luar bandar Sabah yang fokus kepada penghasilan green kosmetik, di mana kami banyak memproses produk-produk berasaskan tumbuh-tumbuhan dan juga herba semula jadi. Dan setakat ini kilang kosmetik kami dan saya sendiri telah mendapat beberapa pengiktirafan, antaranya adalah 100 Most Outstanding SME Sabah pada tahun 2019 dan juga Johan Best Product Sabah pada tahun yang sama juga. Dan yang terbaru saya mendapat pengiktirafan dan memenangi anugerah usahawan belia Sabah untuk tahun ini. Dan saya juga telah disenarai sebagai Successful People in Malaysia daripada British Media Publication pada tahun 2021. Mengenai dengan cabaran syarikat kami pada sewaktu pandemik COVID, sebenarnya saya sama seperti usahawan yang lain, kilang kosmetik kami tidak beroperasi untuk menghasilkan produk-produk kecantikan, sebab waktu itu tidak ada permintaan, orang pun tidak mau bisnis, sebab siapa juga mau bercantik-cantik kan waktu PKP ini, orang pun tidak keluar rumah. Jadi tapi kami waktu itu bijak untuk ambil cari ikhtiar lah untuk survive kan. Jadi saya terlibat dengan job untuk supply sanitizer, PPE kepada frontliner di Sabah nih. Jadi itulah yang buat kami survive sebagai kilang kosmetik sewaktu pandemik COVID. Dan apalagi ya? Oke, selain daripada menghasilkan produk kecantikan, syarikat kami juga aktif dalam mengendalikan kursus-kursus kemahiran. Saya banyak terlibat melatih belia-belia, sui rumah, membuat kursus untuk melatih orang membuat produk-produk kecantikan nih. Dan selain daripada itu, saya juga sewaktu PKP, walaupun kita tidak bersuamuka kan, tapi saya menganjurkan program pengajian jarak jauh founder. Itulah nama program itu, pengajian jarak jauh founder untuk melatih usahawan kosmetik dan terutamanya founder-founder di bawah bimbingan syarikat kami, belajar online marketing, belajar buat Canva, semua inilah. Jadi bagi saya waktu PKP itu macam satu peluang yang sangat bagus lah untuk generate income yang melalui online nih, yang macam nih, kursus-kursus secara online. Dan selain daripada itu, saya juga ada menerbitkan buku panduan untuk usahawan kosmetik bertajuk CEO. Jadi buku rujukan ini dia bertujuan untuk menjadi panduan kepada bakal usahawan kosmetik lah. Kebanyakan usahawan ataupun bakal usahawan sebenarnya banyak yang teringin mau jadi macam Alif Syukri, Datuk Vida, tapi orang tidak tahu macam mana untuk memulakan bisnis nih kan, macam mana untuk ada brand jenama sendiri. Jadi dalam buku ini kita ada tulis step by step apa yang perlu dibuat untuk jadi founder. Walaupun saya tidaklah se-famous Alif Syukri atau Datuk Vida, tetapi daripada pengalaman yang saya ada, daripada pengusaha homemade skincare sehinggalah menjadi owner kilang kosmetik dan mendapat beberapa penganugerahan. Saya rasa terpanggil untuk berkongsi pengalaman itu kepada bakal-bakal usahawan nih yang mahu bermula secara kecil-kecilan. Dan apa lagi ya? Selain daripada kilang kosmetik ini, pada tahun 2021 saya melangkah lebih maju dengan membuka satu lagi bidang bisnis, yaitu saya menjual emas 916 jenama saya sendiri, yaitu Norsiah Gold and Jewel. Yang ini yang terbaru. Walaupun belum lagi kita buka kedai emas secara rasmi, tetapi kita sudah mula menjual emas-emas ini secara online. Dan alhamdulillah ada memberangsangkan juga untuk pendapatan untuk Norsiah Gold and Jewel ini. Jadi rasanya itu saja untuk daripada saya. Kalau ada apa-apa soal saya baca dulu. Siapa ya? Ataupun boleh buka mic terus untuk tanya. Can you gain customer trust if... Oh, oke. Soalan daripada Sujoni. Oke, yang ini macam mana untuk kita gain trust daripada customer apabila kita di small business. Sebenarnya macam yang dikatakan oleh sahabat kita tadi, bila kita buat bisnis ini kita mau menyelesaikan masalah orang. Jadi macam saya sendiri sebenarnya ada banyak kilang kosmetik di Malaysia ini. Di Sabah sendiri pun ada banyak kilang kosmetik yang memang sudah established. Tetapi kenapa kita masih lagi orang bilang boleh cari makan, boleh lagi survive dan masih boleh grow? Karena kita target kepada pelanggan-pelanggan yang baru ingin mencuba. Kita menyelesaikan masalah untuk founder-founder yang tidak mempunyai produk-produk yang berinovasi. Jadi kita hasilkan produk yang berinovasi kepada mereka. Itu salah satu yang kita selesaikan masalah. Yang kedua, kita yang dari segi kita punya service itulah. Feel free to leave question form. Okay. I see.
Dia persilakan kepada tim kalau ada soalan nak tanya pada Miss Norsiah. Boleh tanya?
Hi, Miss Norsiah.
Okay, hi.
I'm Siti from UNITEN. Macam tadi I tanya Mr. Azharee his big why, and may I know now what was your big why in starting your beauty school? Thank you.
Apa yang mendorong Miss Nessie untuk berbuat apa yang Miss Nessie buat sekarang? Tak ramai orang nak sanggup nak buat kan? So apa yang motivasi yang mendorong?
Okay. Sejujurnya big why terbesar saya adalah saya mau memutuskan rantai. Ya. Okay. Betul. Okay, betul. Sebenarnya big why yang terbesar saya adalah saya mau memutuskan rantai kemiskinan di kalangan masyarakat di daerah saya nih. Sebab di sini kita di luar bandar, kebanyakan pun tidak mempunyai peluang kerjaan, walaupun mereka mempunyai kemahiran yang bagus, ada berijazah semua. Jadi itu yang di situ. Jadi saya kemahiran yang saya ada sekarang ini membuat kosmetik ini mungkin sedikit sebanyak boleh membantu untuk membangunkan tempat nih daerah ya, itu yang hasrat yang terbesar. Yang kedua, big why itu adalah saya mau membanggakan kedua ibu bapa saya, sementara mereka masih ada. Dengan kemahiran yang saya ada, dengan apa yang saya buat dengan community, saya mau membanggakan kedua ibu bapa. Saya mau mengharumkan nama kedua ibu bapa dan juga tempat ini. Dua inilah yang big why saya, yang membuat saya tidak kena putus asa.
Okey, terima kasih. Ada soalan kepada Dr. Abdul Hadi dalam chat box. Kalau boleh diulang.
Ya, silakan.
Apa agaknya perkara yang Norsi nak belajar dan apa kesilapan yang tak sepatutnya Norsi buat? Banyak kesilapan sebenarnya yang saya apa banyak kesilapan 10 tahun yang lepas. Salah satunya adalah tidak belajar bersungguh-sungguh. Sebab saya rasa kalau saya belajar bersungguh-sungguh 10 tahun yang lepas mungkin saya boleh jadi best student dan sebagainya lah. Tapi sebenarnya itu antara penyesalan lah yang saya rasa. Sebab kalau kita lihat, kalau di MDEC sendiri pun saya bukanlah di kalangan student yang orang bilang top student. Saya di kalangan student yang belakang-belakang sahaja. Jadi kalau diulang masa itu saya mau belajar bersungguh-sungguh, saya mau dapat knowledge yang lebih banyak. Mungkin kalau knowledge itu ada banyak, mungkin saya tidak se-struggle macam sekarang untuk catch up balik apa yang perlu saya buat.
Norsi, saya nak tambah soalan. Saya Hadi daripada UniKL. Kalau ada peluang 10 tahun lepas, apa ilmu bisnes yang Norsi nak belajar yang sepatutnya Norsi rasa tidak belajar?
Perkara paling penting yang saya ingin nak belajar dan mahirkan diri saya adalah leadership. Sebab benda tu yang paling penting dan saya rasa paling crucial dalam even dalam bisnes yang saya cuba sekarang adalah leadership. Dan sebab kita bila dalam bisnes ni kan, macam sekarang ni, bila dia makin grow, kita berdepan ramai orang dan kita akan perlu memimpin ramai orang baru kita boleh grow untuk manage team dan sebagainya. Jadi kalau sekiranya ada peluang, saya 10 tahun yang lepas saya akan asah bakat saya ni untuk jadi leader yang terbaik. Macam mana berkomunikasi dengan orang, macam mana untuk groom diri saya sendiri. Itulah yang saya ingin sangat polish diri saya ni, leadership, kemahiran dalam bisnes tu.
Baik, terima kasih. Oh, ada soalan daripada Dr. Tuan Salwani.
Ingin memulakan bisnes dari segi financial dan kemahiran. Oke, nasihat saya selalunya untuk graduan-graduan ini, apa yang saya macam faham selepas saya berdepan dengan ramai graduan, bahwa saya pun selalu jadi jemputan untuk speaker-speaker di college di sini, university di Sabah ini sendiri. Apa yang saya paham, benda yang merunsingkan graduan-graduan ini adalah yang pertama, bila mereka ingin bekerja, mereka mau jawatan yang tinggi, tapi tidak persaingan yang terlalu kuat. Begitu juga dengan bisnes, mereka agak was-was sebab risiko terlalu tinggi. Jadi apa yang saya mahu nasihatkan kepada graduan-graduan yang teringin untuk bisnes ini, jangan takut. Biarpun persaingan ada depan, belakang, kiri, kanan, tapi rezeki itu ada. Jadi cari untuk memulakan bisnes itu selalunya cari, kalau tidak menggunakan kemahiran, kita cari benda yang kita suka, kita enjoy buat benda tu. Dan yang selebihnya tu kita buat saja, belajarlah kemudian. Tak payah terlalu banyak orang bilang, terlalu banyak macam fikir sangat, nanti lama-lama satu benda pun tidak akan buat dan rasa takut tu makin besar. Jadi buat saja dulu. Sebab saya ingat satu pepatah ni, dia cakap sebaik-baik graduan adalah graduan bakal CEO. Jadi untuk kita jadi CEO mungkin akan makan masa. Kalau kita nak jadi CEO mungkin lagi 20 tahun, 30 tahun dari sekarang. Jadi salah satu cara lagi untuk kita jadi rasa CEO ini adalah untuk bina empire bisnis kita sendiri. Itulah yang boleh memotivasikan graduan ini untuk berani buat bisnis.
Okay. So
nampak mudah tapi tak mudah. I think the big why yang telah Norsi mention tadi tu adalah bagaimana boleh mengubah kemiskinan. Tak ramai orang orang ada cita-cita yang besar, maksudnya nak mengubah kemiskinan di luar bandar kan. Ada orang fikir tak apa lah, I seorang-seorang berjaya okey lah kot. Tapi you take the opportunity just to, you have the knowledge dan kepakaran tu, dan beauty is a thing that boleh membantu ramai orang di luar dengan memberikan peluang pekerjaan dan sebagainya.
Ya, betul. Okay, Alumni invite to share details. Okay. Untuk just in case kalau ada alumni yang berminat untuk mengetahui lebih lanjut, manalah tahu tiba-tiba ada yang berminat untuk bina jenama sendiri kan, kita boleh layari laman web rasmi kami norsibeautylab.com dan juga boleh hubungi saya di nomor telefon 012 836 5418. Ataupun boleh juga follow Facebook page personal saya Norsiah Ahiddin. Relate executive.
Okey, nampak di bahagian chat tu maklumat tentang kontak nombor telefon, dan kalau ada social media dan sebagainya boleh dikongsikan juga supaya kita boleh berhubung dan sebagainya. Mana tahu rakan kita kat Semenanjung nak sponsor. Itu dia kata, Cik Beta, I nak sponsor makeup lah, nak hantar kat Kundasang, boleh ke? Boleh. Nak hantar satu keluarga lah, ada kawan-kawan kenal dekat Sedakan lah, hantar sebagai as a token of friendship, boleh kan?
Boleh, tak ada masalah.
Alright. Okay, again, that's okay. Thank you very much, Miss Norsiah, for sharing your thoughts, berkongsi pengalaman tentang keusahawanan dan cabaran dihadapi, dan orang kata sedikit semacam rasa terkilat tak dapat belajar dengan cemerlang. Tapi tak apa, Allah SWT ni selalu, Allah is great. Bakat manusia ni pelbagai kan. Ada orang yang tega itu, tega ni maksudnya saya selalu cakap, kalau kita terror semua benda, maka tak ramailah orang kat dunia ni kan. Contoh yang mudah je kan, saya cakap anak saya, kalau tak ada lah orang angkat sampah tu, rasa-rasa seminggu macam mana rumah kita. Payah. Jadi what I'm trying to say is that everyone have their own unique role and they can contribute to make the whole life meaningful and add value. And in this case, in your case, you're using entrepreneurship as an opportunity, as a tool, not just to address poverty within the locality, but also creating opportunity for youth, especially di luar bandar lah, untuk bersama.
Jadi ada satu soalan lagi di sini daripada Muhammad Yusuf.
Yeah.
Macam mana saya nak buat inovasi? Okay, untuk inovasi ini selalunya saya tak tahu nak jual apa, macam-macam pikiran, tapi macam mana saya nak buat inovasi? Macam yang saya katakan tadi, kalau kita nak start business, pertama sekali sama ada kita buat business itu berdasarkan kemahiran yang kita ada, yang kedua berdasarkan benda yang kita minat. Jadi ini salah satu lah, kalau kita dapat jumpa bisnes yang merangkumi kedua-dua ini lagi bagus. Tapi untuk cari inovasi ini kita kena tengok, kita kena rajin buat research pasal market yang ada sekarang, produk-produk yang kita ada sekarang, ide yang kita ada tu, kita tengok pesaing-pesaing yang sedia ada. Mungkin ada setiap benda tu mesti ada kekurangan. Jadi daripada situ kita boleh buat sesuatu, mungkin penambahbaikan. Inovasi ini tidak semesti yang baru, mungkin dari segi penambahbaikan pun itu dikira inovasi. Okey,
Inovasi kita pun tak tahu kan. Produk kecantikan banyak inovasi
betul. Yang asalkan benda tu, inovasi ni asalkan dia membantu orang. Itu dikira inovasi lah, memudahkan orang, membantu orang. Itu semua dikira inovasi.
Kalau saya inovasi, saya tengok lidah buaya lah. Lidah buaya bagus untuk kulit. Saya tengok ibu saya pakai, wah bagus lah lidah buaya. So anything alright.
Okey, ada sedikit tambahan daripada saya lagi. Kalau untuk dari segi inovasi ni, kalau kita tidak ada idea juga. Selalunya banyak researcher daripada universiti, macam daripada UniKL sendiri pun, dia ada banyak pakar-pakar dalam bidang inovasi ini yang boleh kolaborasi dengan kita. Jadi kita, kalau kita tidak tahu membuat inovasi apa, kita boleh kolaborasi dengan mereka untuk komersialkan inovasi yang mereka hasilkan. Itu salah satu yang orang bilang fast track untuk kita boleh masuk dalam market, kita kerjasama. Jadi kalau kita fikir sendiri inovasi, kadang-kadang benda itu kena validate lagi yang banyak kerja. Jadi kita collaborate saja dengan pakar yang ada, inovasi yang mereka buat tu, kita tahu mereka komersialkan.
Setuju. Okey, baiklah. Masa sangat mencuburi kita, Miss Nancy. Kalau ikutkan hasrat ni, kita nak sembang pasal keusahawanan peluang di kalangan keluarga besar GLU ni panjang. Kalau boleh kita nak semua orang GLU ni memberikan nilai tambah, tergerak ke arah keusahawanan apa dua platform dan sebagainya. Tetapi bukannya mudah lah, dan sekurang-kurangnya apa yang dikongsikan ini memberikan inspirasi kepada anak muda kan. Jangan pula kata Cik Betah, saya tak tahu nak buat apa kan. Kerja tak dapat, apa tak dapat, buat apa yang ada. Dan saya setujulah pandangan Nancy bahawa kalau kita nak bergerak ke arah keusahawanan, kita kena menyelesaikan masalah apa yang berlaku di depan mata. Apa dia nilai tambahnya kan. Macam tengok tadi Cik Azharee, mak siap promote lah. Meh lah anak saya ni terror ni, buat marketing. Meh nak jual kepek boleh, jual sabun boleh. Jadi kepakaran Tuan Azharee ke situ. Kepakaran Norsiah ke arah kecantikan. Jadi dia punya point ialah bergerak ke atas penyelesaian, memberikan nilai tambah. Dan saya setuju pandangan Cik Azharee dan juga Norsiah. Kadang-kadang tu, ya satu keadaan dana dan duit lah, tetapi bukan duit tu akhirnya menentukan matlamat akhir, tetapi memberikan nilai tambah dan menyelesaikan masalah masyarakat dengan perkhidmatan, produk yang kita berikan. Kita nak muka orang tersenyum. Dulu ada lagu senyum, saya tak tahulah sekarang ni ada tak orang nyanyi lagu tu kan. Kan? Senyum kepada semua. Itu kalau siapa lahir tahun 1996 boleh recall lah zaman tu. Internet tak ada, handphone tak ada, memang kita senyum lah selalu. Tapi dia punya point itulah dia punya gist keusahawanan untuk memberikan senyuman dengan perkhidmatan dan produk yang berbaloi kan? Dan sebagainya. Okey, baik. Jadi insyaAllah sekali lagi saya mewakili Urustia ingin mengucapkan jutaan terima kasih kepada Miss Nancy dan juga sekalian panel yang telah berkongsi pengalaman, masa untuk bersama-sama berkongsi dan memberikan inspirasi kepada kita semua ke arah keusahawanan dan berceritakan turun naik keusahawanan kan. Ada turun naik dan sebagainya kan. Jadi harapannya ialah benda ini boleh mendorong kepada mereka yang berminat untuk memberikan nilai tambah, membuat perubahan dalam konteks kepakaran yang ada, boleh ke arah itu. Dan seperti mana yang dikatakan tadi, kita ni keluarga besar, kita tak tahu kan, tengok-tengok GLU pergi kat sebelah pantai timur tak kenal orang, pandang kanan kiri, alamak nampak pula ada GLU punya ni kan, kawan-kawan kita roger-roger kan. Nak tengok sini nampak pula Alumni UNITEN, kita roger kat situ. Pergi sampak sekali tempat nampak UNIKL ataupun UTP dan sebagainya. Jadi saya cukup percaya bahawa networking ni sangat penting dan kita bergerak ke arah kerjasama yang begitulah. Kita pun kalau kalau kita sekolah lah kan, kita tak kira lah generasi mana, kalau sekolah yang sama kan, walaupun dah 3 sekolah 20 tahun, cakap je adik kita daripada sekolah yang sama, abang ingatlah zaman-zaman sekolah, samalah juga GLU tu. Tak kira lah UTP ke, MMU ke, UNITEN ke, UTP, boleh kata GLU, ini lampak adik-beradik kita lah, dunia akhirat. Dah tak ada lah. Selalu orang lupa, dia kata, you all mana? Isi swasta? Betul. Tapi kita ada beradik special punya, adik-beradik, adik mana satu ni? GLU. Oh, tak pernah dengar lah Batiah. Itulah kita wujud. GLU adik-beradik untuk selalu menyokong untuk membuat perubahan. Seperti tidak nanti orang ingat, mesti awam sahaja. Dia lupa bahawa dalam konteks isi swasta ni ada pendekatan government link dan ada kekuatan kita boleh manfaatkan. Jadi insyaAllah sebelum kita akhiri kita punya program pada hari ini, marilah kita sama-sama membuka kamera untuk kita merakamkan memori kenangan indah. Kan? Supaya nanti bila 5 tahun ke depan, setahun akan datang, kita boleh tengok balik kat Facebook. Allah, nampak muka Tuan Azharee ni. Allah, apa cerita dia sekarang? Nampak muka Cik Man, nampak muka Miss Sisi. Jadi begitulah. Jom, mari kita sama-sama buka kamera untuk kita kat episod indah lah bersama kita secara online. InsyaAllah kita nak abadikan. Moderator handsome, tak adalah handsome, biasa-biasa je. Dah tua dah. Nampak dah Dr. Tuan Salwani. Allah, apa khabar? Lama tak jumpa. Okey MFI?
Alhamdulillah.
Bukan MFI dah kan? Chancellery kan?
Chancellery hari ni.
Okey. Alhamdulillah.
Mana
Alright.
tuan moderator tak nampak muka?
Allahu Akbar. Segan lah gambar muka tak handsome.
Macam mana nak ambil gambar tanpa muka?
Okey. Nampak Madam Syah? Dahi berkilat. Itu yang segan tu. Okey. Nampak Yusuf pun ada. Allah. Okey, dalam kerajaan 3 kita ambil gambar beramai-ramai.
Use and creator.
Stop.
Jangan kena stop tu. Sedia.
I'm working now, I'm working.
2, 3. Okey. Nanti kalau main gambar-gambar mana tu ada WhatsApp group boleh share. Okey, kita buat freestyle pula. Saya tak tahulah zaman sekarang gambar ni ke. Macam tu kan. Macam-macam style. Okey. Sedia. Satu lagi. 1, 2, 3. Okey, ini sekali lagi.
Sekali Norsiah baru masuk.
Miss Norsiah baru nak masuk dan nampak gambar. Okey, silakan. Okey, satu lagi freestyle. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Okey, dengan gambar foto beramai-ramai ini, maka secara umumnya program kita GLU Youth Nation Alumni Network berakhir di sini. Dia bukan nota yang terakhir, dia adalah satu permulaan kepada sesuatu yang hebat insya-Allah kan. Banyak kenangan-kenangan, mungkin ada ni bukan orang yang orang kata yang kita tak kenal, kita kenal. Jadi kita dakwakan lagi, insya-Allah kita berkembang supaya nanti orang kata, GLU ni baca. Baca macam mana GLU? Boleh macam GLU. Memang kita orang lain macam. Korang ni kau punya asabiah lain lah, lain macam. Memang lah. Semangat kekitaan. Kan? Semangat kekitaan ni kalau digunakan ke arah kebaikan, banyak faedah. So hari kontak hari ni, kita memperkukuhkan jaringan dari segi pengalaman, kekuatan dalam keusahanan. Okey? Baiklah. Terima kasih Dr. Tuan Salwani. Ada rezeki nanti.
Terima kasih Cik Batia.
Ini maka berakhirlah program kita pada hari ini. Sekian. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Tetapi kita masih buka lagi sesi untuk networking lah sehingga pukul 5. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Salam.
Thank you.
Terima kasih semua.
Nak buka